Yo. Um, I gotta move this thing around. Yo, what's up, Scube? 1K. This is really zoomed far out. I'm in a different streaming location. I wish I had something to prop this on. Well, I can prop it on this, I guess. Yo, yo, yo. Um, Schizo. My favorite schizo after Terry. Yeah, dude, I am schizo these days. I don't think I'm that schizo. I don't know. I think schizo stuff is like it can seem schizo when you like know a lot of weird information all at once, but that's what's been happening to me. Like I got into such a knowledge acquiring state of mind that like my worldview is just changing constantly. And I'm trying to the reason I haven't made videos about like all these revelatory things I've had is because people will think I'm extremely schizo and I'm like not sure what information I'm currently gathering is legit and what's just like new stuff. But I don't know. My worldview has changed completely because I kind of stopped studying Vim and started studying like charisma and leadership and like social interaction science. And I used that to go and like talk to tons of people. Like I've been talking to more people now than I ever have in my life before. And like I understand a lot of psychological tropes and things, and I understand how I didn't have social skills before, but now I do have social skills. So it's also been like hard to resist talking to girls because like I know how to talk to girls really well now. Like once you understand a couple of little things about how their psychology works, it's it's actually really easy. And um if you're an older person here, you'll get that, but yeah. Cap? No, it's not cap. Not cap at all, dude. It's we have our egos are way too big as guys most of the time and we go around just talking about ourselves and you can see that failing for so many guys. What works so incredibly well is girls are like conditioned to want like emotional connection with guys. That's what they look for. They don't look for like immediate gratificationatory gratifying like they're not looking for sex, they're looking for an emotional connection and emotional understanding. And guys just going around talking about themselves all the time does not work at all. It's a terrible strategy. It's just like I have a big ego and I'm here to control the world. Whereas if you go and you literally just keep asking girls more and more deeper and deeper questions, it's like they love you for it because it's like you finally someone who like socially understands them. Um, yeah, yeah, literally. Show more interest. Like people aren't really actually all that interested in you. If you show interest in them, like your conversation skills are just through the roof, dude. It's insane. Like, yeah, how to win friends and influence people is right on. I just didn't fully like realize that before, and now I'm like putting it into practice and it's really working. So that's why I've been like missing uploads. I just been interacting with a lot of people in real life. Um, yeah. All right, get some more interesting chats in here to yeah, yes, you're feeling their main character ego. Exactly. Yeah, everyone thinks they're the main character. If you just like play into that, if you consider them the main character instead of you the main character, like it's so easy to yeah, I don't want to say like manipulate people, but like and now that I understand all these social cues really well, which is like maybe I was autistic before, it's like now that I understand them, it's really easy to kind of nudge people in directions I want. I'm not saying totally manipulate them because I think that's bad, but well, I don't know. No, I did not read 48 Rules of Power. Maybe it's worth reading, but the problem is, I feel like with reading all this stuff is like it doesn't fully work. Like you can't just accept things people have written and like immediately absorb them as true and start applying them. Because like if you don't yourself believe that they're true, then like they just kind of go right through you. You know, like that's to win friends and influence people. I read it and I was like, okay, yeah, but does that really work? And like I had too much ego about it, and that's the case for all those kinds of books. Like 48 Rules of Power, unless I experience them firsthand, I don't know if I could put them into practice. Why is this stream like buffering so bad? Oh, it's probably my camera. Probably I should plug my camera in or just switch it to my laptop camera. I wonder if I can do that. Video capture device. Oh, maybe it's fine now. I have a cable here somewhere. Um, what are your projects on GitHub that got you 200 jobs? Is that a joke? No, that wasn't a joke. It's not so much like what projects exactly, it's just like my ability to not try to just do what everyone else is doing, not try to like blend in with the crowd and try to make a project that gets me hired. But yeah, that was kind of social engineering, honestly, that got me those jobs more than programming, which is sad, but it was combined with programming as well. No, this is just my office. Okay, where? I swear I thought I had a cable. I'm gonna just switch to my laptop's uh, FaceTime camera. Okay, there we go. That was not a flattering angle, but oh well. Okay. What initially made you plan on uploading videos? Do you have a plan going into it, or just go on instinct? Yeah, it was go on instinct really. And I think it's really important to start rather than just think about it constantly because you'll think of all these like self doubts if you do that. It's important to just do it and like throw all the doubts to the wind. And then when you start doing it, you're like, oh, all those doubts about my voice or my face or like how I was talking, nobody cares. It doesn't really matter. I did vote last year. Yeah, I'm 20. No, not exactly. I got the jobs. Well, I don't know. The YouTube channel was a big part of it, but now in hindsight, I can say that I could have done it without the YouTube channel, and I still can. I think it's more about um, finding the right people and like impressing them with the right skills. You have to have the skills. You can't like shortchange being good at stuff. And I'm not very good, but at least I like tried with Vim a little bit. Man, whenever I wash my hair, it loses all its structure. Like a complete scam. Um, yeah, I have a video, probably gonna release it tomorrow, but I think more people should start YouTube channels if they think they have good stuff to say. But it's getting quite oversaturated. Really liked your video about social interaction. Thank you. I relate a lot with the way you think about stuff. Yeah, I think it's kind of bad and creepy, and like any normie will get really fucking freaked out when you talk about social interaction, like it's like programming, like it's like a thing you can predict and understand. And I learned the hard way that talking to like my normie friends or like my mom and being like, whoa, I can really understand social interaction and it's like a science we've reduced. They like freak out. They're like, no, you can't manipulate people. You can't do that. And I think people hate to admit how influenceable they are and like how much body language and stuff is like a readable thing and like how much that science is developed, like how much influencing people and charisma is like a studyable, improvable skill that you can get. I might be majorly Dunning-Krugering right now and thinking I'm having a lot more influence on people, but I don't know. Like there were a bunch of I was at parties for Halloween all this time and like I was just like interest maxing people in conversations, like all these different people, and like, damn, I was just like getting people to tell me things that were like outrageous. Like I was just farming social interaction, farming like friends and girls so fast. Um, Hooked on your channel because the topics are insightful, TBH. You have something, not a lot of content. Yeah, oversaturated and brain rot. Yeah, that is true. I want to see more people like me on YouTube that are like authentic, I think. So if you want to start a channel, by all means, go ahead and do it. I said the N word at 14 years old. Ah, haircut. That's Jake. That's not me. That's his thing. Um, but thanks. Like portfolio wise, I can show that off, I guess. Let's see. Screen plus camera. Honestly, I think what I'll say to that is what projects did you actually make portfolio wise? It seems like to me you're looking for what projects to make that'll get you hired. It seems like you're in a very I want a job mindset right now. And you shouldn't really be thinking what did I do and how do you copy that? I would just think like how can I learn more about programming and then decide to make a project. Hopefully that didn't cut off my mic when I switched to that screen. Okay, no it didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't think about like what other people's projects are. I think it's good to see a little bit so you don't repeat like other people's bad projects, but honestly, like, yeah, I would just be working on your own project. And yeah. Am I hired? Yeah, I'm hired. Well, technically not. I'm between jobs right now, but I know I could get any job, so I don't really. I'm just kind of coasting on like my YouTube and Silicon Valley friends cash farming schemes. I'm not really worried about a job for this foreseeable future. I just want to talk to girls and stuff and have a fun college time, to be honest. Hardest skill in programming is getting ideas. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think if you hook yourself up to like the fire hose of information we have access to from the internet, then it's hard to get ideas because it's like your brain is just continually being like bombarded with things to be inspired by and you're never practicing being inspired. If you just completely stop consuming content and just sit around bored, you'll have ideas within like 5 minutes. Um, uh, What Everybody is Saying, yes, is an excellent book, and the monographs. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. The monographs. What Everybody is Saying is like such an insanely insightful book. Like, oh my God. If you guys don't know, we've really isolated like I guess it's psychology and body language has really figured out that a lot of like the way we communicate is nonverbal because we evolved for like a really long time, right? And then we only recently got the ability to talk to each other. So we've evolved all these like body language communication things that like we actually subconsciously are communicating with each other very heavily. And some really smart like FBI interrogators and other people have tapped into that and allow you to control like your subconscious like body language and how it messages people. So another way you can talk to people really effectively is by, and this is why confidence works. Like people are like, "Oh, be confident when talking to girls." That's actually a thing that works, and the scientific reason is because if you are really confident mentally, it'll like send to your like nervous system all these like subliminal signals that change your body language, and other people's like subconscious minds can pick up on that body language. And it's like there's actual real science going on with the confidence and communication thing. um, yeah, yeah, LinkedIn slop is terrible. I gotta write down the monographs. Can you guys see my terminal emulator here and my browser? I don't know if like the screen sharing is actually working. Um, let's see. Where's my Streamlabs thing? Hopefully that was. Oh no, I gotta switch to this. All right, nope. Now can you see it? All right, monographs. Um, nope. I don't really like going outside. My city temperature doesn't go below 30 degrees and it's uncomfortable. You don't have to like, oh, you still can't see it. Any plans for the forum or Discord group? There is actually an XMPP server already. The reason it's XMPP and not Discord is because it's a little bit difficult to join, and I don't want just random people like joining and asking other people tons of questions instead of doing work. I think XMPP makes it a little bit annoying to join, so that you're gonna actually have to do some work in order to get onto it. Um, because everything has gotten too convenient. Um, Black screen. That's okay. How good are you with data structures and algorithms? Also, do you hop from one language or one stack to another quickly, or have you stayed with the same stack for some time now? I'm okay with DSA. I took like a couple classes on it, and I did some leet code, but I haven't gone deep into it. I think leet code like has this problem where it's immediately not like it's useful to get hired. It's not very useful for the average developer who's doing React and stuff, and then it's extremely useful for like the cracked developers who actually have to develop like really optimized software. And yeah, yo, what's up, real mantle over? I think I said that right. Wow, there's a lot of messages. Oh, social skills. No, it's not all about social skills. That's a great point. If you have too many social skills, then you lose your like original um your original ideas. You know, it becomes just what other people's brains are outputting. You're very able to connect people and get them to talking to each other. And I've done that. Like I've found really smart engineers and I've connected them to business people through the networking. But if I'm just all the time 24/7 like trying to puppeteer people into place, then it's like my original ideas are not good. So I think I have to spend time just like reading and doing like introspective activities where I'm alone. Du-du-du-du-du. You mentioned in your latest video that just doing cool projects is enough for people to hire you, but isn't being able to communicate these projects as an... Yeah, it is quite an important skill, but I would say there's two ways to go. You can get pretty good at programming and then get pretty good at social skills and then network your way into a job. Or you can get really good at social skills and like trick your way into a job, or you can get really good at programming and someone who's good with social skills will find you and give you a job. So it's like it's a matter of just being skilled and eventually you'll do. I tried Colmac DH, but it's just demotivating when you're like 130 with QWERTY and then start over 10. I honestly don't know if it's worth it. I think just think of it as a long-term investment in your fingers and hand health, but it doesn't really, the speed isn't too important. I made an eShop with Go, Astro, Solid.js, blah, blah, blah. Any tips to use to say for haters who say I'm stupid for not simply using Shopify? Yeah, I think you already answered your own question. You learned a bunch of stuff. That's why you're better, and you'll be a better developer. You'll be able to do bigger and cooler things. Like it doesn't, just because you didn't invent like a new operating system or something with that one project doesn't mean it was not a step absolutely in the right direction. So you're on a great path with doing stuff yourself. It's more useful to read loot code solutions and to actually solve them. IMO. Yeah, maybe that's a good piece of advice. I was going to open source some of my thoughts. I was thinking about making recordings of what I've done in my C++ projects and maybe some NixOS stuff just for, yeah, personal accountability. That sounds like a solid idea. Bro, socializing is too time consuming. It can be too time consuming, yeah. 'Cause it's very addictive when you can like have really good social skills because people will just like gravitate around you. If you learn charisma, like it's kind of hard to stop doing. Like I get really excited about it because I can just like start orchestrating a lot of social things going on. But I don't know. It's don't be scared of it. Well, I don't know. I think I am lucky that my parents didn't like fuck me up. Like I don't have any real like social problems, but you can overcome those by just like exposing yourself to it. Man, there's too many messages. Locally, be in your basement without the internet and code on Notepad without access to the internet. That's how I learned it. No AI. Yeah, that's totally valid. Pokemon nerd from 2005. Thanks. Does a gap of 6 months to 1 year on the resume matter in general? Dude, I think you're thinking too much like, what do they need? There's a checklist, I need to get hired. And it's like, it's so much more vague than that. It really doesn't matter. Don't worry about your flaws. Just like keep trying to make yourself stronger. Gap on a resume is like completely inconsequential if you're good at programming. Nobody cares. But focus on getting good at programming. Um, Oh, XMPP chat discussion. XMPP might not be the right thing. I'm working on kind of, I want to develop like a different forum thing. I think real-time chat is bad, and someone else pointed that out to me recently, and I really agreed with it. Real-time chat just is like very shallow. So I think we need way more of a forum thing, and I'm going to try to build a dedicated version of it in SvelteKit and some other stuff. I've got a really smart technical friend helping me with that too. Um, I'm trying to learn Colmac DH stenography, voice typing, German, English, native, Chinese, Rust programming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's so time consuming. I think I really struggle with that too. I get so excited at the amount of things there are to learn, and I really just need to like focus on one thing at a time and learn it, you know? I'm not using any drugs anymore. I realized pretty much all drugs are a scam. They're just like especially like Adderall is it's just like a band-aid over your inability to focus. And even if you think you have ADHD, and you actually, ADHD is very real, and Adderall is real and can help with a lot of the symptoms, but it's also like you can just learn to focus if you really you really have the willpower. You can just sit down and do it. It's just a matter of doing it over and over and over again. Oh, yo, what's up, Jake Pappas? Certified meth user. Dude, I have this ick of switching languages and stack quickly. How do you stick with the same stack sometimes? It doesn't matter because if you stick with the same stack, even if it's a trash stack, like say it's like Angular and Haskell on the back end or something, you're gonna learn way more by just trying to like make the full product built out than like how do I switch to an optimal stack to build it. Like you're trying to find like ways to avoid doing the hard work, I think. Like you're just like switching all around to, oh, I need to use Rust, I need Rocket RS, I need to switch to WebAssembly, and it's like you could just learn all the underlying concepts and then like you would see in the grand scheme of things your stack really doesn't matter. It's more about making the product. Um, I'm studying physics and CS in college, but I'm kind of scared of choosing a wrong niche in CS. I would not worry about choosing the wrong niche in CS. It's way more about how good you are than like what you know. Like you can get just focus on getting good, and you'll see that it doesn't really matter. Yeah, our parents in the '80s didn't need Adderall. We're just weak. Yeah, I agree. I think Adderall has arisen as like a combatant to like TikTok and like attention span destroying technology. But if you're able to cut that out manually, you don't really need Adderall. Um, yes, yes. I agree. I agree. You can solve the majority of mental illnesses with behavioral stuff. A lot of people hate to believe that, like, and I think a lot of people in my life hate to believe that I have like control over my negative emotions and I haven't like been sad in many years because it's like so unrelatable. But it's like if you just introspect enough and you understand your emotions and why they arise, it is totally possible to just control them. Like I don't really get mad or sad anymore. Um, Anything other than fourth or lisp is gay. I don't know. Maybe you're right about that, but I don't know. I can't say that. Yes, with proper guided meditation. I'm trying to get better at meditation. I didn't realize how real meditation is towards solving a lot of focus and other issues. And yeah, maybe Adderall is a US Gov app to increase productivity. I don't know, dude. Like that's I think people generally are doing things with the best intention, but Adderall has had a lot of strange knock-on effects. I went to school for programming years ago, but I didn't think it was for me. That's totally okay because I was in school for programming and I didn't think it was for me either. I dropped out to pursue my own stuff. So if you're just interested in other things, pursue what you're interested in. I think we're forcing too many kids to program because we want like six-figure tech jobs and we want things to move along. Oh, this bum Jake Pappas. I'm not, dude, I'm not reading that unless you donate hella money. Um, Meditation is important and whatnot, but a lot of drugs absolutely minimize suffering in the world. Yes, well, the drugs really can do things. I think they're fix the symptoms rather than like fixing the root cause in most cases. And some of them are really necessary because like yes, you could be like a Zen master and like figure out how to control your pain receptors by being super introspective, but when someone's just gotten hit by a car, like it's not the time to teach them Zen meditation. It's the time to like administer some morphine or something. So drugs are like a very quick fix, I think. And it's like the same thing for Adderall where it's like yes, it's totally possible to introspect and realize why your mind is wandering and all and like solve all those things with exercise and like introspection, but it's like you're in a test, you have 2 hours to do it. You do not have time to learn all that stuff. That's like a 20-year battle. But you can absolutely overcome ADHD symptoms by thinking about it. That's my opinion. Um, what's your opinion on competitive programming? Would ICPC finalists be able to get a job in tech? I think so. I think like people at Google would network and find them and be like, yeah, we need a guy who really is good at all the algorithms because of whatever the fuck reason. I don't know. I think people who are competent will find other competent people. It's just about getting competent. It doesn't really matter how like what the thing is. It's like how competent you are. I disagree that medication's a scam for ADHD. You can get very far, but there's a lot of scenarios it doesn't end up working out and punish them, blame themselves, and it's not their fault. I totally agree with that, and I'm still like not fully like I need to come off Adderall because there are things I recognize that are like somewhat beyond my control. Like it's really hard to escape all the engineering for attention grabbing and advertisement. Yo! No way! Jake dropping 100 bomb. Dude, I'm not giving that back to you. I hope you know. Too bad we like pay the same grocery bill. God damn it, Jake. I just reread the code I've been working on and found it was ridiculously convoluted and I refactored that shit to clean it as fuck, which is dope, but it was such a waste of time the first time around. I don't think it was a waste of time the first time around if you needed to like refact like I think that's major learning. The problem is like people like um people let like perfect get in the way of good, and they need to just start doing and refactoring. It's like, oh, the JavaScript framework isn't fucking perfect. It's not fully fucking optimized. Oh, how will I ever build this web app? And then they never start because they're too afraid to like, yeah. You had the opportunity to make him say something funny. You like Instagram Reels amount of funny. Man, you scared me. Bro, gotta revoke that donation in an hour. You can't revoke donations. Someone prove you can revoke donations. RN. What do you think about Moonlander's ZSA keyboard? I actually got a Glove 80 recently, but I think Moonlander's a very valid keyboard as well. But I think the Glove 80, like a lot of science has been put into it. Um, we all know you should write your own JS framework. I don't know. I think there's a big respecting our elders problem with our culture in America where we're like, "Oh, we can do it better. We can learn the thing better." At least I was like this. And it's like, can you do it better? Like the people that wrote the C compilers were absolutely insanely cracked. I would defer to them for years before I try to make any of my own decisions. Same thing with like, oh, I can make my own JS compiler. I trust Rich Harris, creator of Svelte. He's a very smart guy, way smarter at making JavaScript frameworks than I ever am. His ass doing dishes for sure. Bro, go do the dishes right now, you piece of shit. Would you switch to a Moonlander? I don't think it's worth I think it's diminishing returns. You're fucking up studying materials engineering. Like you're enjoying it or you're, oh, I love it. But I feel like a single cracked dev with a laptop is able to create and build X 100 more than an engineer. That's the thing with software engineering is the amount of like leverage you can potentially have is okay, $100 though. Yeah, okay. I'll do the dishes. I'll do the dishes, bro. Fine. Um, let's see. Yeah. Software engineering just gives you a lot of leverage. The seniors in my college are getting interns for AI slot projects. What have we come to? Yeah, it is pretty bad. And don't say like, "Oh, but these people are getting internships from software engineering or from vibe coding things." That's like you're looking to other people too much for like the path, and maybe you're just looking to me for like what the path, but I'm saying the better path is to actually get cracked and then a network a little bit and like those people may have jobs, but they're pretty shitty jobs, I guarantee you, because in the power stack of things, those guys are like way down in terms of like once you get talking to actual CEOs who are like, "Oh, holy shit, this guy's cracked and he can socially network, he can like understand what I'm saying," then you're like in CEO, you're in the CEO to like engineer who gets paid like a million a year status, versus like those guys are like bottom tier engineers. Um, do you always liked programming or started to like it later? Because I can't get motivated to do it and finding ways to like it. Yeah, I didn't always like it either. There are stretches I've hated programming, but what's made me get through it is I just keep doing it and I realize when I'm doing it and I hate doing it, that's like the best time because I'm like practicing doing things I hate. It's making me the strongest. Like when you do it and you love doing it, big deal. Like anyone can do something they love doing. People that can do things they hate doing are the ones that get really far. So like if you keep that in your mind and you just keep grinding when it doesn't feel like it's time to grind, then you get far. Um, yeah, that's awesome. Pragma Sens. You've created your own. I'm not reading that whole ass shit, but I saw it, and that's a cool message. Um, I think you can do way better than Chrome. Browsers are just millions of lines of garbage. When we could have our cake and eat it too. Getting something. What I want, this is a super grand vision for the future of everything, is I'm trying to network, build like a bunch of people up, bring them with me, and like become the new, like, I think we can see like a new technical revolution in our lifetimes if we all work together and we're optimistic and we do real work and like reestablish something like Xerox PARC or Bell Labs to like really push the boundaries of what we know on computing and like redo operating systems, redo browsers, redo programming languages with all our knowledge about things. And Rust is kind of a step in the right direction, but I think we just need to like there's a lot of things and this is like grand visionary stuff, but we need like a lot of change, especially in America. Like we need education to be really, really redone and boosted up. There's a lot of things that need changing, but education is probably the biggest. So we can get like another pool of really cracked people like Xerox Park was. So we can, because the internet has gotten so bad, it's gotten so slopified. TikTok is like basically mind controlled. It's ruining people's brains. And I just want a future that's like a lot brighter for my kids, you know, where there is no more of that. I mean, there'll be a new problem to tackle for sure, but like, I don't know. I just want to see the world redone in a lot of ways. There's a lot of things that I think are good about the world, but a lot of things that should be redone, especially around education. And yeah, like you're right, browsers are piles of garbage that should be completely like rebuilt from the ground up. And we could make like a better web protocol, honestly. Um, um, Rust is popular is based on flawed assumptions. Memory management can be easy. Exactly. That's the problem with Rust is like it's like it babies you too much. Rust is literally built for like dumb to like kind of smart to dumb people. It like keeps you in like a cage, and if you're a really good developer, then you're like, oh, C is better than Rust again. It's like Jonathan Blow and writing his own language. I think Jai has like realized that the memory management things of Rust are just like too slow. Um, Peak of brain rot? What do you mean peak of brain rot? Isn't that like pinnacle of like human intelligence? There, peak of brain rot is like actually a terrible thing. Sylvan Valley, yeah. Zig is dope. I think Zig is really better than Rust as well because I don't program in that low level space, so like don't trust what I'm saying here. But the thing with Zig is, yo, 5 channel memberships. Thanks, Jake. Um, Zig has like the pragmatic features of Rust, like a good package manager, but like not the babying of Rust. So I think it's we need to put this donation alert or that's awesome. Yeah, enjoy the channel memberships. We're gonna hear that. Um, would you say a mid-level C Zig engineer is usually more cracked than a senior Rust engineer? Dude, how do you even want me to like answer that question? It's such like a vague like. Would you say the average guy from this discipline is more cracked than the average guy from that discipline? Like, bro, I'm a junior engineer. How the fuck am I supposed to know like such an abstract thing? Um, I'm only 1 Saturn years old. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking curse if I want to. No censorship here. Dude, how many of you are getting memberships? um, you're wrong. Okay, I guess this guy Doze Dev says I'm wrong. I'll trust you, bro. Random guy on the internet. I actually don't know about Zig. I could totally be wrong, but yeah. I'm making my own OS browser programming language so I can just use my own stuff and make something I actually like. Dude, one thing I will say is, first of all, I'm tending to doubt your intelligence because you're right. Like maybe this is a deliberate choice, but you're using commas but then not capitalizing sentence starts and like eyes. So it's like, is this guy gonna change the world with a new operating system if he can't like understand basic English syntax? It's not just like it's not all that hard to like read one grammar book and then write clearly, and it'll really help you documenting your operating system. So not to throw shade at you, I'm sure you'll go far and do great things because um, you have the drive for it. But like, crack a grammar book, my guy. It doesn't take that much. Um, Yo, we got another person joining. Dude, I love that innovation. Um, would you say the mid-level civil engineer from China is better than the senior prompt engineer from Wisconsin? uh, that's really funny. Um, Thoughts on fast degrees like WGU's computer science? I honestly don't know. I wish I knew. Um, yeah. Thanks to Fleet W. Hi Sylvan, I'm interested in the airport I'm in the airport and got time to kill. Oh, okay, okay. I'm going to start learning Vim right now. Should I go with NeoVim or just Vim? I hear people saying to start with Vim Motions and NeoVim, but IDK. I would start with NeoVim. I think it's made a lot of friendly decisions. And honestly, if you're just starting out, I would actually use Helix. I think Helix has done a lot right. I would actually recommend any new person go to Helix instead of Vim. I guess Wi-Fi? No, I can't. Can I move that pole? Oh no, I can't. Oh well. That's cool. Yeah, I would say Helix is what you should do if you're just starting out. Otherwise, if you're in Vim, that's okay. I'm Indian. Do you think I have a chance in Sui? Oh no, dude, you're disqualified. Fuck. Oh, damn. Based on all that information you just gave me, yeah, it's hopeless for you. There's no way you'll ever get hired because you're Indian. Man. Yeah, dude, it's over. Just give up. Dude, I don't know. How the fuck am I supposed to answer that? Like, you gave me literally nothing to work with there. Why wouldn't you go with Vim over NVim? Because NVim is like just there's a lot more work that's been put on it, and NeoVim is there's a lot more development. Are you schizo? Yeah, I'm schizo. Um, who are you talking to me? I can write English correctly. I just don't want to. Also, English is not my first language, and I never left my country, which is not an anglophone country. Okay, so you can write well, but based on how long that message took you to look up, I'm guessing you like used some dictionary and maybe ChatGPT spell checked that whole block. So yeah, you can write quickly, but I would practice it more so you can do it flawlessly and without effort, because you don't want it to be taking a ton of effort to write basic English. You want to build up those skills. What is the best book you have read that does not relate to a specific language? Um, hmm. I think Pride and Prejudice, just because I'm in social engineering mode, teaches you a lot about men and women and how they interact and how you should interact with people and how you should, if you're an intelligent person, like adapt to your how you should be willing to change and you should be willing to better yourself and not have a huge ego about everything. I think that's a really, really valuable book in human development. Um, no, I did not use any of this. Okay, okay. Maybe you're cracked normally, except you forgot a period on that sentence fragment. Um, so sometimes I feel an itch on the back of my neck. Do you think I have a chance at Swee? Yeah, dude, you're gonna make it. 18-figure job for sure. Um, do 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 do. How far into applied math did you go but when you were in school? I was in junior year. I did like abstract algebra and then I dropped out, but I think I might go back for communication theory, honestly, and like leadership theory, but I really don't know. My life is up in the air at this point. AI for grammar checking and emails. No, I don't think so. I think it's tempting because it'll like save you, but you rely way too much on that tool. And grammar isn't just about being grammatically correct, it's about changing the way you think about communicating. You should really like just read a grammar book and then you will never have to spell check emails because you'll just be writing correct English or whatever language you speak. Doesn't have to be English, but just read a grammar book for your language. I think it's really important to learn and not rely on machines to do things for you. There's a Dune quote that's like men outsourced or men gave their thinking over to machines hoping it would free them, but it only permitted more powerful men to use those machines to enslave them, which I think is a really timely quote. You think you're getting ahead by using AI, but you're really just letting smarter people control you. Um, I read some books about programming, recently read about browser networking, and I kind of want to share with people what I've learned with those. Any tips and ideas on any kind of place would be good. I'm trying to create that place, honestly, and I get your desire to share things. We're social creatures and we want to like share. That's what I've noticed. Like the really smart people I talk to, really smart engineers, no matter how smart you are, you have this social like this part of your personality that makes you want to talk to people and tell them things. That's why I do it. Like you can't be really smart and not want to tell people what you've learned. And I don't know if I'm really smart. I don't know. It's all relative, but yeah, no matter how smart you think you are, you can't be antisocial. Like something in our biology has conditioned us to need to tell people the things we've learned. That's why you go and try to explain like random things to your mom, even though there's like literally no chance she's going to understand metaprogramming. But that's why you need to find friends who like will kind of meet you at your level on certain programming concepts. Um, yeah, but also have friends that are different than you too. That's quite important. Sometimes I brush my teeth at night. You gotta stop that. um, Jake, all right, I'm coming over expecting thirst traps. Yeah, Jake, drop some thirst traps in the chat. Um, I think more people should understand when they are learning essentially trivia instead of transferable things. That goes for most of the web. Exactly. Yeah. You're basically you like to shit on like history majors, but what you're doing by learning like web dev concepts like hydration and islands architecture and I don't know, WebSockets and stuff, you're learning trivia and not really how this stuff works under the hood. And if you understand things from first principles, that's what the best developers do, and they don't really care what like framework they use because they can just do it from the ground up. Yeah, don't read a grammar book, just read actual books sometimes to know correct grammar. But that's like don't read programming language documentation, just like read people's software. I mean, I guess there's something to that, but it's like you can go so much faster if you read the grammar book and then start reading people's software because then you'll know what to look for. Whereas you can learn from reading other people's books, but it's like if you know what to look for and then you read people's books, you'll be like, oh, that's what he's doing with this sentence structure. That's what, like, okay, there's the predicate, there's the fucking, I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken middle school English, but oh, that's why the two, like, pronouns are in the same person. Um, oh, nice, Jake. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel smart, but it's really hard to tell because people are just basically they just know trivia for different things. Intelligence is kind of a scam. Like we all kind of are walking around with the same set of info, but some people have trivia about programming, some people have trivia about psychology. Um, how do you find smart people around you? I think the most exhausted. I have mostly exhausted the and already found the smart people around me. That's not true. Everyone around you can teach you a lot more than you think. The people you like the least can actually teach you the most. At least that's what I heard a wise person say. So that's why I'm trying to talk to people I despise to see like how I should live and not live. Chat is not a place where you write correct grammar. Okay, dude, you're salty about it. You're salty about being roasted. You know I called you out. You don't got to defend it. See, you're at least like you're a smart guy. You'll figure this out. But I'm not hating on you because I know you're gonna figure out this operating system. But yeah, I think being open to accept criticism is completely fine. You don't gotta defend it. You're a smart person. Um, That's why I think colleges are for the better. Yeah, colleges are excellent. Colleges are honestly amazing. They've just devolved into like career slop, but I would love to see that restored. I think people actually going to learn instead of just like copying shit and then getting a slop job. It sounded kind of wrong, but thoughts on centralized and decentralized internet? I honestly don't really know. Sorry. I wish. Did I do predicate logic? I did a little bit of predicate logic, but I don't consider myself an expert. Thoughts on cyberpunk aesthetic? I think it's overdone, but it just looks good. IMO. If it looks good to you, then yeah. Yeah, I play the Irish fiddle. You can choose programming languages to type your thoughts on learning syntaxes that way. I think it's a great way to learn syntax, yeah. Why are you asking me? Like that's yeah, that's a very obvious like way to learn stuff. Yo, I'm trying to learn to type symbols. You think if I put on a symbol layer, is that like the good thing to do, Master Sylvan? Please teach me your ways. Yeah, dude, it's a good thing to do. Fucking obviously. That's how else would you learn to type symbols? Like, dude, have more faith in yourself. You don't gotta like learn everything from me. You can figure stuff out on your own. That's a great idea. Um, yeah. Surround yourself with people you hate so you can learn patience. Honestly, not a terrible idea. Not a terrible idea at all. Do you code? Nope, don't code. Don't ever code. Would you get into a romantic relationship with someone who specializes in web dev, and why wouldn't you? I think this is my opinion recently on relationships. There's this horrible misconception where people are like, "Oh, I have to find the girl who's the one for me. I have to go find this girl who's got these features that complement mine." And back in the day, it was way more like, "You will marry this girl. There is only four girls in the village, and she's the hottest." And it may not be perfect, but what you need to do is change your own personality flaws so that you're compatible. And marriages, like of old, it would be like you'd meet like Jane or whatever the fuck for like 2 days, and then that marriage would last for 80 years. And marriages now, because no one is fucking wanting to fix their terrible social problems that they have, they're like, oh no, I can't ever change this person or change myself. They have to be perfect. I'm gonna leave this person like 18 divorces later. You finally found that one like local minima where someone is like kind of more compatible, so it works for a couple extra years. Whereas like if you've ever read Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy's like an absolute Chad. He's got like an ego, but he's really smart. And then he dates this girl, and she's like, "Bro, you're way too like arrogant about things. You're like putting too many people down." And he's like, "Type shit, my bad." What's her name, Elizabeth? And then he changes, and then they marry each other anyway, and it's fucking sick. They like both self improve, and that's what relationships should be. Like it shouldn't be like, "Oh, this girl should not be doing web dev." It should be like, okay, she's kind of hot. I'm gonna date this girl because that's like basic criteria that you can't really change your appearance. And then once you're in that relationship, don't treat it like, ah, fuck, she's got some personality flaw I can't get over. Treat it like, how do I help this girl realize certain truths about the world so that like she's more compatible with me? And you have to also open your mind to be like, well, maybe I have certain fucked up things about the world. Like I think there are all these things she should change about her personality. Maybe I'm not the like puppeteer master genius I think I am. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to fully change her. Maybe there's some things about her that should be the way they are. And really like look at yourself and your own flaws too. That's like how relationships should be. And we've just have this horrible fucked up perception like, no, you're perfect. You shouldn't have to change. You should be loved for who you are. And that's not the case at all. You should all right, boys, I'll have to do more work. Good luck with the grading, Jake. He's a TA for software engineering. Greek is the best girl. Please never break up, guys. Dude, we're literally just super good friends and totally not gay or anything. I don't know why you would think that. Um, Jake member donate. Have you ever written Lisp? I have not written Lisp. Wise words. Yeah, being too picky, you need unhealthy, yeah, or you need like healthy imperfectionism. You need to like, and that goes for programming languages too. It's not like, oh, I need this language to have fucking iterators and first class functions and a type system that's perfect and a memory management that holds my hand. It should be more like, damn, this language sucks fucking ass, but I'm still gonna learn anyway. I'm gonna get good at Java. And I saw some guy in here that's like, I love Java, I love Java. I love to see that. People that like don't care about perfectionism, they're like, well, fuck it. Like part of it's broken. The garbage collector is slow, but I actually got good enough. I know how to control the cycles of the garbage collector. And if you can do that, then Java is like basically as fast as C++ because you're cracked and you actually care about the thing and you're not just like, oh, what's the fastest framework? What's the fastest programming language? The least flaws. I'm going to learn that. Yeah, I think it's a big problem. People are too hyper focused on like what perfect tool will get the thing done. And when I say people, I'm really projecting and talking about myself. And I thought that for so long too, but it's like just pick the thing that's maybe not perfect, but get good at it, and your perspective changes. Tour the bookshelf. It's this is it's actually a lot of classics. I've never read any of these things, but it's a lot of like ancient Greek, um, and there's a lot of really rare books here too. A lot of like German classics books, a lot of ancient Greek philosophy. I would love to. Sophocles, the poet and dramatist. Um, Oedipus Rex, oh, that's a classic. Oedipus complex comes from that Greek myth. Yeah, this is just a classics office. Yeah, somewhat good with Java. That's perfect. Get good with Java. It's fine. Java is goated. It's not that verbose for real. This dude is gonna fix the country. I appreciate that, but also like roast me more because if you just like fucking build me up and build me up, then you get like an egomaniac ruler who like never listens to anyone else. I think one of the most important things to realize is that one of my mentors really helped me with.
just because you're really good at programming does not mean you're really good at everything. And so whenever I find someone, like whenever I find like a girl or something who I'm talking about my own direct experience here. Whenever I find someone who's in a different field like psychology, instead of being like, "Oh, I can do your job for you," I think like this person just knows so much more about psychology than me. I'm gonna defer to their judgment. If it comes to programming, I'll have opinions, but I try not to have opinions about fields that aren't mine. Same thing with politics. Like I got on one video and I said so much retarded shit, and people were like destroying me for it. I love that because it keeps me in check and it helps me. Um, Egomaniac streamer is live. Yeah, I'm a bit of an egomaniac, but at least I understand it now a little bit. I think you're worried. If you're calling me an egomaniac, you're worried about your own ego. Um, the Lisan Al Gaib of him. Dude, I honestly feel like the Lisan Al Gaib. A little bit sometimes these days. There's just like so many realizations and knowledge being crammed down my throat. My worldview is like changing so rapidly. I'm like a little bit feeling insane, like I'm staring into the void. But at the same time, like, I don't know, it's all solid information. I need to learn to learn. Like one of the biggest things I'm struggling with is I need like efficiency in everything I do, and I'm learning so much. I'm worried like a lot of it's just going through my brain and I'm not absorbing it. So I need to learn like Zen meditation and like the ability to quiet my racing thoughts and just like absorb information. And I need to learn like Obsidian and like some kind of note-taking system that's really high level to like capture these ideas. And I need to like learn meta learning. You know, I need to really understand Feynman's technique and like the ability to really look at my own thoughts and like realize how I learn. And like I'm also getting really into like diet and stuff and like sleep scheduling as well, just so that I can learn the most effectively. 'Cause there's so much to learn and there's so much to optimize. The world is your oyster. Are you in a spice trance right now? I feel like I've been in a perpetual spice trance for my whole life. How many of those books have you read? Like none of them. I'm leaking my end variables chat. That's pretty funny. Learning for concepts. Learn present critique methods. Okay, I'm gonna copy that down. I have like a Vim buffer open for reading Rex. Uh, how do you keep things organized? I'm a horribly disorganized person. I have to learn how to do that. Um, Someone should make a video roasting his portfolio. I don't have a portfolio. People are like, "Oh, your your website is dumb." It's like it's not a portfolio. It's like 5 links with like a hexagon background. I'm not trying to get hired for my website because I know that's kind of a useless dead meta now. Um, Opinions on note-taking apps. I think from what I've heard, I don't have good opinions on them at all, but I think Obsidian is kind of the best non-horror Halloween movie. What? Isn't that like that narrows it down so much? What's a non-horror Halloween movie? Aren't they all horror? I guess I really like Silence of the Lambs. I think I love the genre like competence porn because it reminds me of my own egotistical abilities. And like competence porn is just videos or movies where there's like someone who's really smart, and Hannibal is like so persuasive he can get people to like kill themselves and stuff. I find that fucking cool. He's like so good at understanding people's psychology. He can like he has basically has mind control. I think that's really fucking sick, even though it's really also fucked up. You should not be using that to like the really scary thing I've realized with all this like leadership stuff and like social control and whatnot is like serial killers are really fucking scary people because sociopaths can like absolutely charm you into doing things. For learning concepts, learn present critique methods, a modern method of the Feynman technique. Okay, Feynman technique. Isn't the Feynman technique like teaching in order to learn? Um, Emacs org mode is good. I'll take your word for it. Okay, one skill is physics because if you learn anything deeply, you can predict the future. I would love to. Thanks. Yeah, I do look like a lesbian, and the girls are loving it. You know what? You know who loves girls is lots of other girls. A lot of girls are gay, actually, at least up here. And the ones in the South are also gay. They just don't want to admit it because girls are hot. Okay, but one skill you need to, oh, physics, yeah. I'll take your word for it. Oh, that's what I'll learn after learning, maybe. How did you get eyes on your projects besides YouTube? You gotta just talk to lots of people, and in person is the best, honestly, because if you make a good enough impression on someone in person, then they'll start telling other people, and it like spreads like a virus, and then you get like progressively more famous. But you can just start on Reddit, I guess. I would focus on charisma if you want to spread your ideas. But you sound like a Redditor right now, bro. Shut your bitch ass up. To do apps are overrated. Just use a to-do.txt file. Okay, well you're fucking uneducated. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Why don't you build your own note-taking app? That's an excellent question. It's because there's only like you can do whatever you want. You have complete freedom to do whatever you want. But if you start going down the road of why don't you build your own note app, it's like, well, okay, well, why don't I build my own like car interface? Like, yeah, that would be awesome, and I hate my car's interface, but like it would take a long time. You have to kind of pick your battles for some of these things. And maybe one day I'd make my own note app, but Obsidian is really good. And like there's so much. I don't know all the psychology and science that goes into note taking, and it's like ridiculous to pretend I do. I would not only have to get like good enough at programming to make desktop apps really well, I would also have to like understand all what goes into note taking. And I don't know. That's a huge time investment. Maybe I'll look into it eventually, but it's like it's the same problem with learning Vim. Like you can get addicted to like a non-programming technique, and if I it same like people building their own to-do apps, I also find ridiculous because it's like there's a lot more that goes into that than you think, and it's like I'm gonna build my own to-do app to replace all the existing to-do apps, and you're like, haven't you ever thought that all the people that came before you building to-do apps have also like thought really hard for a long time? Like it's kind of hard to outwork those people. I could also live in a barrel and become Diogenes. The thing with Diogenes, and people bring him up over and over again, is like he did that kind of to he was just like a guy, one of the guys like trying things, and like he did that so you don't have to. Like the whole example of Diogenes is like why you shouldn't be like Diogenes, or like what parts of Diogenes are noble and what parts are not. But yeah, you should not strive to be like that guy. He's a counter example to how you should live, and that's like why he's so brilliant. Um, how do you get more confident talking to people? Because I sometimes feel like I'm annoying people by talking. You are annoying people by talking because you're talking about yourself most likely. What you have to do is just only ask them questions and like try to play a game where you're minimizing the amount of information that you are telling them. Only spoke when talking to. Do not try to like cram your ideas down people's throats. Let them ask you. You need to be the one doing all the question asking and all the listening. That's what will make you really charismatic. Do not try to like tell them how cool you are because they do not care. As cool as you are, nobody like girls are just and people in general are wired to care about their things and not your things. So you have to make them feel like they're doing all the telling, and then they'll like you. Um, Trying to make a presentation using types, and why the fuck can't I embed a video into a slide, man? Yeah, that's the downside of the PDF format. 30-minute naps are really good for information. It's very cliche, but it works. Okay. Yeah, my friend is really into like modal logic and philosophy and ontology, a really brilliant guy, and he naps every day. So maybe I'll have to get into that. Um, Been talking, we've agreed your vids have turned into slop. Oh, okay. Maybe my vids have turned into slop. I do at some point need to get back to like Vim and actual keyboard stuff because if you start talking about abstract nonsense all day and like meta learning and shit, people are like, some people will get it, like a small percentage of people that are in the same place in life will be like, holy shit, this guy's on to hella shit. And then like the other 90% of people will be like, what the fuck? I'm just here for some Vim tips. So I gotta get back into it. Do 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 do. Um, how do you actually decide what projects to work on? Constantly stuck in decision paralysis because I don't want to waste my time. Yeah, man, I'm fucking stuck on that right now too. There's so much to learn, and Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to learn. I'm just gonna learn how to learn, I think, and then I'll be able to learn learning more efficiently, and then I'll never get off of the learning thing. It's like I'm just gonna learn how to learn in an infinite loop. Does small talk learn the yes no buffalo trick? Yes, I'll look that up later. Thanks. Someone also told me a cool trick that people, there's a little social engineering thing for you. People much prefer to answer no than they prefer to answer yes. So if you phrase things like, would you mind doing this? And then they say no, they're like, it's easier for us to say no than it is to say yes. Because yes, we feel like we're giving up power. No, we feel like we're claiming power for ourselves. So you can kind of flip that a little bit and subliminally it tricks people into doing what you want. It would be good if you wanted to engineer an environment for maximizing all your ideas. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not confident I can do things better than the people that have come before me. I think that's a big mistake people have is like they set out to like change the world and my app is going to be the best and brightest and it's like you don't know how much you don't know and you don't know how many people out there are wicked smart and like way smarter than you. So like I I act like an egomaniac, but I'm actually like very conscious that I'm in like a 1% of stupidity when it comes to like there are people that are just have done unimaginably smarter things than I will. So I listen to them more than try to make my own decisions for now. Like Jonathan Blow, for instance, is just literally like 1,000 times better of a programmer than I am. I would go listen to him on programming opinions. Honestly, I don't know why you'd listen to a junior engineer. Maybe because I'm more relatable to you, but that's the thing. I think we have a hard time respecting the opinions of our elders, like our grandparents and stuff. And because we're like, oh, those people are outdated, they don't know what's up. And like, you'll listen to me because I'm your age and I'm like acting more relatably. But go talk to your grandparents. They have hella life advice and wisdom to give you. You can get really smart by talking to wise people. Um, I wasted a lot of time learning shit and didn't learn anything. Read books, like ultra learning. But I'm a programmer. I just got to spend time programming stuff. Yeah. I feel like you'd have to be a psycho to do real time calculating the optimal way to manipulate social situations through tricks. Just be yourself. That's I wish, dude. Like, and it's really hard to accept that people are like predictable enough that you can kind of do things like that. But it's like that's how charismatic people are charismatic. Like you don't like to admit that. You don't like to admit that CEOs have like practiced those things. Like we want to just say, "Oh, they're innately charismatic, just be yourself," but it's like being yourself doesn't work. If you're like a nerdy Linux nerd, people hate you because they want to talk about themselves. And if you're like too nerdy and you don't know that and you just talk about your own interests, you are not charismatic. If you want to be charismatic, you have to listen to other people. And I feel like I'm being socially engineered so hard right now. Yeah, it's weird. It's trippy, right? I'm way more persuasive now than I was. And like the smarter you are, the more persuasive I can be to you because like I can you can use people's logic against them because you think of me as an authority figure. So you're like coming to me and you think it's your ideas. You think you're taking initiative by going and like learning stuff from me. So you're now in like a willingness, openness mindset and like the authority bias from me is like making you believe things I'm saying even though they could just be complete and utter garbage. And I'm like appealing to your sense of logic by being really honest right now as well. Um, yeah, we're in the learning to read to learn to read a book on swimming to learn to swim stage. Yes, humanity's getting very abstracted. Opinion on contentment in life. That's a great thing because there's like so much to do. There's so many cool things. Um, and honestly, like I got a little bit existential for a while when I realized there's so much cool stuff to do in life. And I was like, "Oh, what do I do?" It's just like there's like an endless amount of things and like Vim is so useless on the grand scheme of the world. But you got to zoom back in and realize like you only have control over so many things and you can only change so many things in your life. Like you should just do what you enjoy and not try to think too much more beyond that. Like, what's my grand purpose? Because you'll get into all these existential thought loops like, okay, well, we're one in an infinite chain of generations just pushing forward human invention. It's like, okay, I mean, yes, but just like fucking Vim is fun, dude. That's all that really needs to be. Yeah, and oh my god. I love Dune so much because it's like, what if our Dune is so brilliant because it talks about technology advancing, not just like our normal like sci-fi, like, oh, we've got lasers and spaceships now. It's like, what if we could advance the way we think and the way we communicate and the way, like, if you've never read Dune, there's this class of like witch women called the Bene Gesserit, which is Latin, by the way, and it means like she will have acted well. And they like really study time and genetics and like how to socially interact with people. So they're like extremely persuasive, and they understand like all these things about fear and all these innate like ways we look at the world, and they're like really really persuasive because of it. And it's like that's actually somewhat real of a science that's emerging. And I think who wrote Dune? Brian Herbert, like really kind of predicted the future trajectory of humanity. Or maybe I'm just fucking schizo as shit. I don't know. Do you want people saying D1 Yapper or like hella insecure that I'm dropping too much truth on them? Wow, that was fucking culty. Like, call the non-believers. No, it's fine. You gotta doubt me. You can't just like accept everything I say because then I'll get too egotistical. Um, do you worry about your job um, will make you code with AI? We have people applying for jobs who don't know what a function signature is yet pass their classes, and there are so many grads. I'm worried. I'm so worried too, dude. It's gonna be like a game of like shepherding those people into little areas where they do like the least amount of damage. And I'm trying to like rally as many cracked engineers around me as I can right now because we're gonna need to be like the leadership of the future to like organize all these fucking brainless vibe coders to like not fuck shit up. So that's why I'm trying to make friends with like all the best engineers I can find, and I'm trying to build all the engineers that are good around me, and like trying to tell them these other secrets of life I've kind of been picking up on, like about persuasion and social engineering and whatever, because I want you guys, the ones who are like actually caring about learning, to like do well and succeed. Because otherwise, the world is fucked. Like if we give power over to vibe coders, dude, imagine a vibe coder in like a leadership position. Oh no. um, how many years do you think it'll take before we can actually slow down aging? I think it's honestly right around the corner. I think Brian Johnson is doing great work, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's a grifter, he's a scammer," but you'll realize eventually, like once you make a certain amount of money, like it doesn't behoove you to just like sit around scamming people unless you have some weird kink. Like that guy is just like really interested in keeping us alive forever, and everything he's doing is pretty legit, I think. People that are like, "Oh, Brian Johnson's a scammer," all like fat guys with beards sitting in like reaction content things and then being like dropping like sponsorships on top. It's like this so clearly content farming Brian Johnson. People are like, "Oh, he's replacing the blood of his son." Yeah, dude, he's literally rage baiting people into like engaging with him more so he can sell more product so he can like continue to spread this like health and positivity message. Like he's just a good guy. That's how do you know detect if someone is attempting to socially engineer you? That is a great point. You're gonna have to read the books to understand it, but if people take too much interest in you and like aren't talking about themselves very much, you know that they have like they've read the books and they know how to like trick your social interaction circuits a little bit. If people are too interested and they're like everything they're saying is a little bit too good to be true, like compared to normal social interactions, you know they at least have some innate understanding of social skills. Not saying that your yapping is bad, but I would argue that yapping is one of the most important skills for any profession. Thanks. Don't glaze me too much, or you'll be expelled from the cult. So a Vim cult, yeah. Modded Minecraft, yes or no? Played a little bit of modern Minecraft back in the day, but I'm kind of done with video games, honestly. I'm moving on. At that stage of my life, it got too predictable and simple. Um, I disagree. Vibe coding is going to thin the herd. Um, let the competition one shot themselves. Give it 3 years. I agree. I think, dude, eventually we get all those people like doing public works projects like Roosevelt era, building like new highways and bridges and stuff. Egyptian slave labor type shit. Um, cleanse the unintellectuals. No, that's horrible. But those people that are vibe coding everything need to. Everyone's capable of learning. We just need to fix the education system we have. Brian Johnson, yes, he does give you weird vibes, and that's because like when you get to his like status of like thinking about the world and very big picture things, it's like he becomes quite unrelatable. It's like hard for him to relate to normal people now that he's like multi-millionaire, does all this meditation and stuff, like really has mastery of his mind and emotions and like social interactions and intelligence, and he's been learning for years. It's like he's a very different guy to you, and that's what like all these billionaires are like. Same with Elon Musk, the way he's like hesitating and talks in strange ways, and he's done ketamine. He's like his brain, he's a very brilliant guy, but his brain is like so wired for massive leadership structures and like under like absorbing information as fast as possible that he looks like some fucking weirdo eccentric like dumbass to you. But like just look at his position, like he didn't get there without talking to people and like being very good at talking to people. So like all those billionaires are, they're very smart people, but they're very weird people, and they've become very kind of removed from the average guy. So that's why I try to talk to normal people. Um, let's see. His products to buy are questionable. They're kind of questionable, but it's like he's trying to sell you products so he can make money, so he can spread the product further, and the product is something that's good for humanity. You know, like I'm kind of okay with giving people like that my money because he's good intentioned, and he could use that money to like do more good for the world. He looks like he's 25. Yeah, Brian Johnson is he's what are the books? Like books on just social engineering and um uh except Geometry Dash. That's the only game that scratches my itch of self improvement. Geometry Dash is an awesome game. Yeah, I was big in Geometry Dash when I was in middle school. If you know the like, there's some sick ass stuff that goes on in Geometry Dash, like the level Wood Kid, the level Astral Divinity. Damn, there's some sick stuff. Has social engineering ruined authentic connection for you? A little bit, but also no, because people are still. I think social engineering kind of it can make you think like, oh, I've reduced everyone to like simple little algorithms. But people are so complicated, you can't fully get a picture of their mental life just because there are certain parts of their like psychology you can exploit. Like I don't know, there was a girl I was talking to at this Halloween party, and I figured out just by listening to her very carefully and asking her questions that like allowed her to voice certain emotions she was feeling but didn't really have other people to tell about. Like I got her completely like open and vulnerable and talking to me because girls are like kind of they're like wired to want social connection, and they're wired to want like someone who listens to them and understands them because it's like a sign of someone who's empathic and smart and will like help them survive in the wild. But it's so on one hand I was like, damn, I figured it out. Like I wasn't really that attracted to this girl. I was like, wow, she's like eating up every like I'm this social interaction is just a science. I've figured it out. But it's also like it's so reductive and egomaniacal to think this person is just a little algorithm I'm controlling. Like they have depths of their soul that you don't know about yet, and if you get to know them really deeply, you're like, oh damn, this person actually fundamentally thinks about the world in a different way than I do. I think there's kind of something to learn from everyone, even like the lowliest normies. Um, yeah. It's hard to listen to the older generation when my dad, senior Java dev, keeps telling me to not get a job and keep degree maxing. Yeah, it's very important to listen to people that are older and wiser than you, but it's also important to realize that the world is kind of rapidly changing, and maybe degrees are not what they used to be. My university is like no one around me is learning deeply in the way that I am, so it's like really hard to feel like you feel like a social outcast if you're the only one poring over books in the library and talking to professors. And I've found that a lot of those really smart kids have left the university and kind of are doing work on their own. And uh, yeah, so those kids are outside of school. I want to address this real quick because um, sociopathic Riz, and people are calling me like a redditor. Yes, a little bit. Here's the thing, like I know people that are really smart and have read all those how to talk to girl books and stuff, and there's actually good science on this now, but you can't be a thinker and not a doer. Otherwise, you're like a redditor. If you're like, "Oh, I've figured out girls, bro. I can engineer girls into doing whatever I want." And then you sit around not doing it, it's like, "Yeah, okay." you have to actually go do it and put it into practice because practicing and knowing are two very different things. And once you put it into practice, you will see that it's like learning this stuff really helps you, like learning the social stuff and the charisma stuff is helpful, but you have to practice it in order you have to be out talking to people constantly for those skills to actually like materialize. Like I know a guy who understands all those skills way better than I do, but he doesn't put them into practice, so it's like it basically doesn't matter. It's like someone who understands Haskell really well, but then you're like, bro, can you make me like a web server? And they're like, huh? Well, if we do this, it's gonna be fucking optimal as shit, and we have like fucking 20 monads, and they're all connected, and it's like, okay, but you can't implement the web server. So yeah, that's a good call out. That is like very Redditor. Like if you're just smart and you like read a lot, but you don't actually do anything, you're actually quite dumb. So you have to do in addition to reading. Feeding our parasocial relationships. Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm quite good at that. Do you think climate change is real? Okay, well, we know it's real, but it's a problem we actually need to address in the next 100 years. Very interesting question. I think climate change is real, but it might be overblown. And this sounds like, depending on your political background, you might be like, "Oh my God, how can he say that?" The reason for it maybe being overblown is when research starts coming out for a new field, everyone else is very incentivized to also capitalize on the momentum of that field and like keep publishing findings. Because if you do that, you'll get like a lot more funding to continue to research. So that's what some people think is a little bit wrong with global warming. Like it snowballed too quickly to people were like, oh shit, those guys saying that the world is going to end in 5 years just did really well. Let's say the world is going to end in 2 years. Let's p hack a little bit. And I'm not saying that totally was what happened. I think there's definitely a lot of legitimacy to climate change, and it's something we're going to have to address. But I do think there was a period of time where it got kind of pushed to the forefront of things because people were trying to really like get research grants and girls are scary, computers are much simpler. Dude, you'd be surprised if you do the reading, if you read the docs. So HR, yes, I'm in human resources. You always say Vim, but you use NeoVim or Vim. I use NeoVim, but I don't think it really matters to be honest. It's um, um with nuclear and electric, it's gonna be fine. Sure, yeah. Apparently nuclear is the future of things. Also, my friend who's an engineer says deep sea mining is going to be big in the future, and we should invest in deep sea mining companies. You heard it here first. Don't spread that too much, though. I'm finna be hella rich in the future. So, what made you wear glasses? I don't wear glasses. Um, yeah, scientific consensus is just another word for bias. Yeah, that's I think a little bit what happened there. Man, girl. Man, woman. Someone should just write a Unix style manual page about how to talk to girls. That would be a fucking funny project. Um, RTFM always, yeah, yeah. Just kiss men. I feel like it's equally hard to like be gay as it is to like you're not really getting ahead of the curve by being gay. I feel like it's just kind of a slightly different problem. It's like switching frameworks, you know. It doesn't ultimately solve your loneliness. Um, I think you being a little bit too tempered with global warming. I slowly see summers where I live getting more and more unbearable. It's one of the few things that yeah, I do think it's totally changing. But I think will we be dead in the next 2 years? I don't know. But it's something that we really do have to look into. It's the government kind of needs to be overthrown with the like really people who care about the future of everything and how everything is turning into slop and stuff. And luckily, I know a guy who's making a run for president, and eventually I'm going to help him with like a PR campaign. But I'm very hopeful because there's a lot of like a network of very competent young people with high hopes for the world that are all learning like leadership skills and are building people up around them. And I think we can try to make the world a better place one day. It's going to be a long road to political dominance and complete mastery of the entire world, but um, do do gay stuff is so much easier. I'll take your word for it. Um, when will Greek come back? I don't know. We got to get Greek on the stream again. Um, yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't, dude. It's Emil Nordgaard. You're just disagreeing with everything I say, which is good. I like that. I like to see it. But like, why are you still here if you don't deeply like agree with me on some level? It's suspicious to me. Um, is Jake gonna run for president? No, it's not Jake. It's this other guy. I'm not gonna name drop him because I wish I were 21 again. Well, when once we get anti-aging technology, you're back, dude. Does the dude have any political background? He's like a yes, he does, and he has. Well, I don't know. He's like a business guy, like a he's like a multimillionaire. Um, but yeah, we need like poli sci people in gov more instead of just people with a lot of money. I think that's the problem. Because the people with money like have huge egos and they think they know how to run everything. But what we should really be doing is like giving like we people with money should be finding experts. Like if I had a ton of money and I wanted to construct the government, I would like be going to all the like top universities and like getting poli sci professors and econ professors to like instead of just like people with money who are good at socially manipulating people, those people shouldn't be in power. They should be like organizing who's in power. That's like kind of what Apple was like. Like Steve Jobs wasn't like I'm going to get into power and then write code. He was like I'm going to find people who are really good at writing code and have them do it cuz that's not that's it's not my job. Um I feel like there's not enough time in the day to do everything that I want to do and still relax and not go insane. Dude, welcome to my life, but I mean, I think you can slowly get used to anything. I'm trying to figure that out. Business guy? Oh, dude, but this guy is a really smart guy because I know, business guy, but business guys are really important. You have to work with business guys and because they kind of move the world around in capitalism at least. And this guy like makes a ton of money, but he was like, "Dude, I'm making so much money vibe coding this app." And I was like, "Watch out, bro! It's gonna happen. Everything's gonna come crashing down." And he was like, "Nah, you don't know shit. Like you're afraid that I'm criticizing your whole career and that you're gonna like lose it all." And I was like, "No, bro. Like you think I'm a developer and I haven't thought about vibe coding taking my career and I'm not still in the same course." And he was like, okay, fair enough. And then he called me like a few days ago. I was like introducing him to another one of my friends who's a really good programmer. And he was like, bro, you are absolutely right about vibe coding. So like, yes, he's a business guy, but he has his ego in check and he knows to listen to the other experts. So if you don't like go and talk to these people yourself and like tell them what's what, they'll just run around making dumb decisions. Like we as engineers have to learn social skills and go tell people how much operating systems suck. Like if you really have grand visions um, for like how the world should be, which a lot of you do. You're like browsers suck, operating systems suck, languages suck, everything fucking sucks. Like you should be trying to convince the business people to like fund your ideas because the business people just want money. But if you can convince them you're the next Apple instead of like the next I don't know useless company like IBM is now, then hold on. Someone was saying some criticism. Victor, don't you think that people that contact you basically see your drive and want to direct it in a way beneficial for them only, ergo to exploit you? Very, very interesting take. And that's what I was a little freaked out about when I first started coming in contact with these Silicon Valley guys. Because once you start meeting really smart people, they know all these persuasion tactics and skills, and it's like, what decisions are my own anymore, and what are people just like who are really, really charismatic telling me what to do? So it's a little bit like unnerving, and maybe you feel like that right now, like listening to me on certain things, like, whoa, this guy's convincing me to change certain things about my life. It's a little bit creepy. And like, why am I listening to this guy? And I mean, you're still here, you're still listening to me. So that's a little bit what I feel like with these Silicon Valley guys. But I think fundamentally, I'm about to socially engineer the shit out of you right now. We've gotten too isolationist and we're too distrustful of our fellow humans, and it's given rise to all these horrible things. It's like somewhere along the line, like Love Thy Neighbor kind of fell into the gutter and was brutally trampled on, and everyone's like, now I'm gonna hide my information and get ahead and not play an open hand. And that's why I'm like telling you all this stuff about social engineering and all this stuff. I don't have like some kind of motive. I'm gonna manipulate this guy into giving me money. I'm not gonna tell anyone about it. It's like all this stuff where people are like exploiting you to do things. I think it's way better, and what the founding fathers did was to like argue, not to manipulate people into doing what you want, but to like really talk to them and find out what they want to do, and like try to show them that you align with what they want to do. And maybe they won't always agree with you on certain things, like that guy with vibe coding from Silicon Valley. But like I don't know. I trust him on money, he trusts me on programming. It's like a very mutually beneficial relationship. So, yeah, I don't know. He is quite pro capitalism, but that's why like the thing is what you're doing there is he's probably like I can hear the negative intent. You're like, "Oh, but he's this, but he's that." You have to look at it more like, okay, well he has this one idea I don't necessarily agree with. You know, he's like very pro capitalism. I think there's a lot of good parts of capitalism, but I see all these heroin addicts like and stuff on the street, and I think we do need a little bit more like social programs to keep people from wallowing in the dirt. And I'm not a political guy at all, so like don't even really trust what I'm saying here. But it's like yes, he has certain ideas I disagree with, but we have to get over those and work together if we want to do anything. I can't just be like, fuck that guy with all those hundreds of millions because he's a capitalist and I will never get along because my ideas are better. I have to be like, okay, well, he understands how to make money. If he can help me make money, I can have more influence over more people. And maybe one day I'll be able to work with this guy and start something like Xerox Park or start social programs because I agreed with him and listened to him and we respect each other rather than just, I'm going to manipulate this guy into agreeing with all my opinions. It's like, you got to be open and work with people and like accept they might have good ideas too. And it's not just about you and being alone and isolationist. And like, I think we have to start working together more than we are right now. There's too many people who are like COVID style isolationists, sit inside, learn all day. Not enough like let's talk to people. Oh, bye, Poseidon. Sorry, I didn't see some of the messages you were sending. Are you a commie? No, I'm not. You're like, are you this thing I disagree with? I'll never follow you if you're that. I'm not a communist, no. I think it would be good, this is my Vermont liberal upbringing, to have slightly more social programs to help people that are absolutely downtrodden, but communism would not work. We've seen an experiment where it didn't work in Russia. So, but I don't really want to talk about politics because I don't honestly know. Correction, he knows how to make himself money, or he knows how to also make you money if you talk to him and open your heart to his skill set. You don't know how to make money, he does, but you can learn from him and then you can make money yourself. Rules are made for the rich to get richer. Are you sure he hasn't gotten a bit too lucky? He has gotten a bit too lucky. He absolutely has gotten lucky, and I've gotten very lucky too. Like, if I was in the ghetto, dude, I would not be making a video talking about all this educational stuff I'm learning. But it's like you have to use that luck, and he's got that luck, and I have to use his luck too, and use it and then reverse the fortunes of the less fortunate. Like, you can't just be like, oh, he got lucky, I'm not gonna follow him. You kind of have to like exploit until you can get more power and then start doing good stuff. Um, let's see. Do you recommend making content in your work niche on YT as a way to connect to your fellow minded? Absolutely, dude. Make content. Yes. All of you should start YouTube channels. Have you been in a leadership position? Like a position where you can make policy that really affecting what happens to others? No, but I don't want to be in a leadership position. I want to be like in an organizational position where I know, like, I find someone who understands policy who's really smarter than me at policy and then have them make the policies, which is a tough thing to do. It's a tough skill set to understand how competent people are. Um, um, I think you fail to consider that a lot of times people who fall for capitalism will always work for their self interests and will rarely use their power for the common good. I think you fail to consider that people can change and people can be made aware of their own failings and they can get better. Like I think it's like, oh, that guy's a robber baron. He'll never do anything good. He's completely just raping society. Whereas if you treat it like that guy has really good money skills, but he's maybe got some things that make him a little like socially corrupt and like he's kind of exploiting the poor a little bit. Maybe he can like really smart at money, so maybe you can like convince him of other like so to do social good, you know, like don't treat people as like literally hopeless idiots or else you'll be treated like a hopeless idiot by other people. You have to like there's another socially engineering thing. You have to open up to people the possibility that maybe people are smart and maybe you can like have sway over them. It's not like that fucking guy's hopeless. I can never convince him to do anything. If you have that attitude, you will never convince anyone to do anything. And yeah, maybe like people with a ton of money like aren't they have their flaws, but what's your alternative? Like make a ton of money yourself? Like how? You don't know how to do it. This guy does know how to make a ton of money and I'm friends with him. That's how you make a ton of money. You befriend the people with a ton and then they teach you the secrets. Um, Franklin Con, maybe. Um, did you wake up one day and locked in, or was this gradual? It's gradual, dude. um, I have some down days where I hate myself, feel guilty. Dude, do not worry about it. Capitalism kind of the attitude around us like forces us to work constantly. Don't worry about working constantly. Take your retirement as you get it. Like enjoy life a little bit. Go outside and do what you love. Don't be grind work all the time. You're you're okay. You're on a good path. You want to work, you don't have to be working 24/7. Why don't I start perfecting prompt engineering? I've already perfected prompt engineering. Um, the CEO of Valve Gabe does a lot of good, especially for taking care of the. Oh, sorry, it scrolled past. Nah, the average person in America is pretty dumb. Yeah, because no one who is knowledgeable like extends a hand to them because we're all so selfish. Oh, those people are fucking hopeless. Those drug addicts are fucking hopeless. Let them rot. Let them die. Yeah, why do you think they're fucking hopeless? Because everyone like treats them like shit. Like if you helped thy neighbor and like said, "Hey bro, you got to understand your addictive tendencies and this is how blah 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 is working with blah blah." Blah. I mean, some of the hardest core heroin addicts are hopeless, but you can catch it early. And same thing with like people are like shove all the minorities into like a ghetto and then like don't teach them anything and completely deprive them of education and they're like, why are they robbing and shooting each other and have no morals? We just like horribly abuse them and put them in like a horrible like economic situation and why are they desperate? Why are they it's like huh, I fucking wonder why. um uh are you gonna host an actual forum? Yeah, at some point. I mean, there's an XMPP server. Like, just go look on the forum, and you'll find a trail of breadcrumbs, bro. Why do I not see any game dev? Okay, here's a card. Um, what are your thoughts on DSA in university? I DSAs are good. I find DSA kind of boring, and I like building real stuff. DSAs, honestly, this is like med school where you like learn things that aren't immediately useful. But if you get to be a really good dev, DSAs are then useful again. So it's like, yeah, it sucks in the time being, but it's good that you're laying the foundation. Like if you ever want to go really far, you will use the DSAs later on. Yes, Helix defaults are pretty sweet. I do really like the look of Helix. Not creating a Discord community. There's already an XMPP community. I don't like Discord. Um, yeah, if our education system is worth anything, these things wouldn't have happened. Exactly. We need an educational revolution. Can tell you have more brains than that Luke Smith guy. I don't know. Like, Luke Smith is smart in a lot of ways. But he's also blind to certain biases, I think, and as am I. Like, we don't know what we're blind to. Um, um, Homeless people are unironically dumb, like mentally 12 years old. It would be considered extreme abuse to let a 12-year-old live outside by themselves. Yeah, yeah, it is really sad, honestly. Homelessness is like a huge problem that I don't know how to solve at all. I'm not even gonna try to take a stab at it because it's not my field, but I would love to put people who are really passionate about that in charge, and I would love to give them resources. So I'm just trying to like climb up the power ladder these days. I'm trying to get more social. I'm trying to get richer. I'm trying to get more influence so that I can use it for what I perceive as good, which you may hate, but um, I'm trying to amass power in essence. Uh, I haven't made a commit in over 2 weeks. Oh no! Oh no, dude! I'll never get hired now. Fuck! Oh shit! Oh god damn it! We already have an educational revolution called the internet. I can literally get Ivy League quality education through Coursera for free. Yeah, that's a good point. We do. The problem is it's like it's self-selecting, which is it leads to a certain kind of ambitious person being very smart and the average person not. Like I a little bit believe we have to cram education down people's throats, and education should be more like strict, and it shouldn't be like, oh, it's okay. Oh, you got like you fucked up that assignment really bad. You can have an A anyway because you need to go to college. And then college is like, oh, we don't want you to drop out and kill yourself. We don't want you to overdose on the Xanax we prescribe you, so you can have an A. It should be more like, you fucking piece of shit failure. That was the worst exam I've ever received. Like, I think bullying a little bit needs to be brought back. Like, we need to stronghand people into learning because once you learn things, you realize it's like all for your own good. But people have this attitude that it's like, oh, education is fucking me over. And it's like, it kind of is by not being strong enough. Like, we need to really just. Doing a PhD in linguistics before I dropped out, before I got disillusioned. Well, if I ever need like a minister of something in my new administration, I'll reach out to you, Crested Puffin. Uh, nice bookshelf, thanks. Trying to amass power just came in for this. What peak? Learning Gromax right now. We are to be goaded. Okay. The internet is still pretty lacking once it gets into deeper knowledge. Nah, if you know where to look for it, it's there. Like you can just go on Google Scholar and read research articles. It's just you don't have the. It's all out there, dude. The internet has everything you can possibly imagine and more. It's just some of it is a little bit hidden, and you have to get good at like traversing the internet. But once you do, you can find whatever you want on anything. Yes, I agree. Knowledge which is required or acquired under compulsion has no hold on the mind. Absolutely. We have to learn things ourselves, but I think education needs to be forcefully set up in a way that makes it so people are able to learn more effectively on their own. And I need some water. I don't have a water bottle here. Governor of Vermont in 2030, dude. No, I'm shooting for way bigger than Governor of Vermont. I also am not in politics. I'm shooting for, I don't know. Talking an extreme, but in China they go Gao Cow, and it ends up in a system where they burn out citizens by like 12. Yeah, forcing people doesn't work either. But something in education, we have a lot of educational science now that like tells us that we have to learn things for ourselves. We can't be forced to learn it. Like you've got to cultivate people's curiosity and get them like learning on their own. And that's kind of a Buddhist idea. Like you can't be forced to come to a realization, but you can come to the realization on your own. I would love to see schools restructured a little bit. Yeah, it is self-induced. It's absolutely right. It's self-induced, but we need to like set up our schools so that that self-induction is more accessible to more people. Because too many people just think it's like things to cheat their way through. They don't see that education is there to help them. Like they see it as kind of an enemy to overcome with GPTs and stuff. Um, you will change nothing, Sylvan. Thanks, I appreciate that, Marinera. Keeping me humble. I'm a sophomore year of computer science, engineering too, and just started with Next.js to build a full stack. Still confused if I should choose AI, ML, or grind DSA all along to get an internship. Dude, it saddens me that like so many young kids are like, what fucking shit should I do to get an internship? Should I do this path? Should I do this path? What's the most optimal way that I can be put into the job market? Dude, think for yourself a little bit. Stop like, I mean, I know you want a job and that's important, but just do what you enjoy. Like it's so sad that you're like looking for other people's approval to do all these things to like Like, do what you enjoy in life. Don't try to do what the whole factory system wants you to do. Because it's gonna be, you're swimming against the grain there. Just do what you love and keep doing it and get better and better at it. And, well, don't do what you love. That's actually bad advice. Just get cracked at one thing, but it doesn't matter what thing that is. Just work hard. Yeah, how to think, but not what to think exactly. Educational science is mostly a scam, bro. You're what a luddite. Oh, no, it's not. Curb your ego, bro. Oh, anything that's not computer science is a scam. All these fields are real. Like they wouldn't make an entire field. There wouldn't be tons of people invested in it if there wasn't some truth to it. It's like a scam like that just doesn't hold up. Um, Sui is so over. Yeah, listen to some guy in the chat saying your entire career is over and then make a critical life decision about it. Many of the courses aren't useful at all. You have to learn the important thing yourself. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Higher level education kind of is, but yeah, job maxing did ruin education. Yeah. Yep. Um. Uh. Um. So do you think incentive-based systems for teachers would fix that, or do you propose changing of the course material? Because how can you grade two generations on two different? Yeah, dude, I don't know. The thing is, like, people expect me to know things like that when I say I think the education system is fixed, needs to be fixed, and it's like I could take a stab in the dark and then you could take my opinion on it, but the fact is I don't know education science. What I think the far smarter thing to do is learn social skills and then go find someone who's really like passionate about education science. There's a lot of girls I know that are teachers, and I always am asking them like, how do you like what is it that makes you an effective teacher? And just like I try to learn for myself a little bit so I can know in the future how to hire a good educator, but I myself don't need to know what would fix the education system. I just need to kind of know how to tell people are smart, and then I can find someone way smarter than me at education, and they'll have the answer to that. Social Engineering by Christopher Haggerty. I will take that. Thank you. There's too many books I have to read. You guys know any strategies for absorbing books faster? See how this latest video is doing. Not terrible. I have to understand algorithm science more, I think. Hey, Helix or Vim, help me, sir. I'm Indian. If you're just learning, then pick Helix. I don't understand people who run GPA so they take easy courses like history of the Brazilian butt lift. Like, bro, you pay tuition, study what you want. Yeah, exactly, dude. That's so true. And at UVM, like they like they fucking like diversity maxed so hard that we have dumbass classes like history of like immigration, history of like oppressive LGBTQ immigrant like dance, and it gives you like 60 social credits. It's like it's a little too socialist for me. Like I'm all for accepting people and accepting like the weirdos of society because whatever creativity type shit. But it's like 50 required classes on LGBTQ acceptance is like just don't be mean to the gay people. Like I don't know. It's important to understand their perspective. So I think like having classes, but don't force it on everyone. Like because they force out other important classes like the classics. Like they don't teach ancient Greek philosophy anymore because they're too busy teaching like queer theory. And queer theory is important too, but it's like don't make that mandatory because people will just hate it. They want to know what they want to know. You can't force them to know your thing. Um, yeah, maybe the yeah, the perspective of delegating to an expert should be what we build society on. Too many people have opinions on things they don't know. Exactly. Dude, I really have to blow my nose. I have to go find a tissue. I'm gonna be RB. Let's see, where's my keys? Alright, nobody say anything else in chat. Like, make the chat completely empty. Where are my keys? Oh, back pocket. Okay, stop Yap stream for any face. Well, what did you expect? Okay, nobody talk anymore. Completely stop talking. Okay, they stopped. All right. Okay, I'm back. God damn it, were you talking that whole time? um, doo-doo-doo. Look for a course called Language and Logic. You might like it. The prof was shit, so I bombed the course. Never thought someone would dedicate their life to science of noun. Sentence divided by noun times noun equals sentence. Language of logic. Okay. Yeah, I did have to blow my nose. Damn. My voice is getting a little rough. I see why like the social engineering people I know are always like hoarse. It's because they're always talking. Speaking on content, how do you balance engagement baiting and doing meaningful content that can often be a little bit boring sometimes as opposed to engagement stuff? I honestly think it should be fully not. I think engagement bait is a mistake. It kills you in the long run because the videos I do that are engagement bait, I get a bunch of subscribers that like won't watch anything else I put out. Whereas if I just put out like things for the OGs, then they'll watch everything, and then like that's how you really build a good audience. Um, Devour podcast? No. I love the boring stuff. See, I need more people like Simon, LOL. Read the docs. Aiming for MIT 1 Regeneron ICEF. Interviewed at Google, worked with Python, Java, C, blah, 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 blah. Could you rate it? And built projects in ML. Could I rate what? Another thing that I don't know why, like, I've just gotten. Well, I do know why. I've gotten really ridiculously confident lately because like everything is working out in my life really well, and like things just keep working out better and better, and I'm talking to more and more influential people and like building a lot of social skills, and like I think that's also extremely helpful for making people like it makes me very charismatic because I can talk to people and be like very confident about what I'm saying, and people think, "Oh, this guy has like direction." And that also really helped in the social engineering thing. Like I'm just very confident now. Like, but you can't be like too arrogantly confident. Big downside of like talking to people too much is eventually you get washed out and like nothing is your ideas anymore. You're just like being inspired by other people's ideas. um, I have a physics tomorrow, final tomorrow. Am I cooked? How would I know, dude? Based on that information, it sounds like you're gonna do fine. You're just like worrying about it for the sake of worrying about it. And you've studied. Where TF is the code, bro? What's up, Tokisuno? Guys, go check out that channel. Um, well, actually, don't leave my stream. Bookmark it and check it out after. Every idea is derived, yeah. What programming books do you recommend? The C textbook. You in a random corner of the library? I'm in my office. I social engineered my way into having an office. Have you looked into good programming languages like Lean? Oh, proof programming languages. I have, actually. I was looking into Lean the other day, and it seems like it's good for fundamental proofs, but I'm not sure if it's more useful in complex systems. I don't think it's useful in complex systems. You want something like C sharp or something for. Well, I don't know. It depends on what you want to do, but yes, Lean I think is quite cool. I don't watch films. No, I really don't watch much stuff. I'm a big reader and yapper. Site that lets you make posts for tasks on a project that you need help with would be cool AF. Like GitHub, bro. That's GitHub issues you're describing. Be careful not to reinvent the wheel. Like you it's great to have a youthful energy and be like, "Oh, I have this great idea for this project." But think carefully before you get into like Steve Jobs' startup founder thing that like maybe you're only 1% of the way there in terms of learning. And you should really be working on the simple stuff and building the simple skills and then worrying about startups. Because it's very easy to reinvent shit. Is there anything you genuinely regret? That's hard to say, honestly, because every decision I've made is like contributed to where I am now, and I'm extremely happy because I have a huge ego. Like, well, I don't know. I love where I'm at right now, and everything I did led up to that, even the bad things. So like, I've had girlfriends before that like before I understood how ambitious I was, I basically just like I threw them to the side pretty much. Like I just like played with their emotions and then completely left just so I could satisfy my own curiosity about certain things. If you know, you know. And like that I think had horrible negative consequences on all the girls that I talked to, but it like led me to understand myself a lot better, so I think it was like important for my development. I don't know if it was like a net zero game or not, but that's why I'm against like tons of. I used to be like, oh, hookup culture and stuff is fine, but you don't understand how you're kind of like playing with people emotionally, and you can have a lot, you can do a lot of damage in the world. I think fundamentally like having one relationship, like having one wife or whatever, being monogamous is like great, and like building up one person alongside you and not just like hunting through all these people to find the perfect um the perfect person. Yeah, I'm getting really psycho. Yeah, some Christian Bale shit. Women come and go, but Git commits are eternal. I would argue that Git commits are just as much floating ephemeral electrons. Um, I really want to move on from getting dopamine from movies to reading. Any advice? I don't think it matters. I think movies are also an art form. But one piece of advice I'll give you is study movies really well. Like, learn about film theory, learn about all the different kinds of movies, all the different kinds of shots, all the different kinds of like cinematic theory. And if you get really good at understanding movies and you like fully get why they're making certain decisions, they'll become very boring to you. It's the same thing as where like you master a video game like Terraria or something, you read the entire wiki and you know everything, and then it's like, well, fuck, there isn't much more to this. It's a formulaic thing. So if you can do that for movies, it'll let you move on. But fair warning, it'll ruin movies for you. You won't be able to enjoy movies in theaters anymore. So it's a bit of a trade off, but yeah. I get that, but I don't like a weird sea salt spray and all that weird shit. Sometimes I use hairspray I stole from Thailand. I don't really think it matters. Dude, I've been grinding since I came out of the womb. No, I don't know. I'm just a curious guy exploring the world and trying to get into areas I haven't seen before, which is power and riches at the moment. I guess this is pretty personal, but how do you get the motivation to like keep on mastering a single thing instead of jumping between projects? That's something I'm working on day to day. I jump between things all the time, and I'm really struggling with that. So if someone could tell me, I would love that. um, Hookup doesn't exist in my country. Lil, you get engaged and then married. No hookups. Yeah, hookups are like an interesting thing where I think there's a world in which it's totally fine to hook up with a lot of people, but they have to be definitely on the same page. Like, I don't think casual sex is bad at all, but you really like you have to find a girl or guy or whatever you're trying to bag that like really understands how casual it is, and it's very rare that someone is actually able to separate emotion from the physical act. It's possible, but it's rare to find someone like that. um, yeah, mastering something has its own satisfaction, but it will give you, it'll make it kind of boring. Once you're a master of it, you won't want to do the basic things. I think it's a bad idea to start late in tech or switch into the fields, and as I worry about competing with younger people, I've also heard that programmers usually only code for 15 to 20. Really? I haven't heard that. I'm not sure, bro. This is the most board game dev stream of all time. Yeah, but a lot of people are watching it. uh, yeah. It was going to be a board game thing, but then I got addicted to talking to people. Man, my voice hurts. The want to have no entertainment is weird. If you enjoy movies, just enjoy them. Allow reading to be the thing you want to learn. Yeah, that's a great way to look at things. The music visualizer has stalled. One of the projects I am not currently working on. I think don't rely on motivation. Motivation is way too volatile. You would rely on a car's. That's a good point, but your bad grammar made me not trust you. Well, you don't like seriously. It's not that hard to like type punctuation. Why you don't learn as much jumping between projects? I think it's something you need to do in order to find the niche that you'll or that resonates with you. Yes, that's correct. Um, might sound traditional, but hookup culture would ruin long-term relationships for me. Like it's almost like diluting the relationship. I actually disagree with that. I think hookup culture can teach you a lot about lots of different types of people. I think people have this misconception at the mid level that if you date too many people, you'll never be able to find the one. Which there's something to it. I haven't dated a lot of girls, so I don't know. But it's like I think it gives you perspective into a lot of different people and how they operate. it it's like a deliberate choice to be in a long-term committed relationship. You just have to keep building yourself up and building that other person up instead of like trying to search desperately for another person. I don't yeah, I don't know. Read the diary of Thomas Edison to become an inventor. Any advice for No Nut November? I think it's kind of a scam, to be honest. The last game I played was Smash Super Smash Ultimate on a CRT TV with my friend Jake, and I got destroyed. Um, let's see. I've dated enough. I'm done. Yeah. See, I think a lot of times you have to kind of do the thing to realize it's not for you. Yeah, that's a great point. You're only going to learn about the type of people who do hookups. That's a great point. But maybe that's something you need to learn. Maybe you need to be like, oh, I actually hate this type of person. I want like a more innocent, slow moving person, and that's important. Uh, yeah, there's a whole mathematical meta for dating. You can break it all down, and it's dating gives you a glimpse of other people's family and lives. It's truly spiritual and psychedelic. Like, whoa, it's like a person with a whole entire life I'm just getting to know. Yes, it does. Exactly. How do you study CS philosophically? I don't know. What does that even mean? Um, what are some of the books that you recommend most? Pride and Prejudice. Um, the Donna Tartt books are really enjoyable. Like The Goldfinch is a really enjoyable book, and so is what's the other one? The Secret History. Let's see. There are a lot of books that are kind of bloated but have good points, like Atomic Habits and Deep Work. Both make great points, but there is a lot of fluff in them for examples, which is okay. I would say some of the biggest ones I've gotten recently from a mentor. Amusing Ourselves to Death is a great book about like how we don't really read anymore and it's destroying people's intelligence. Then there is like this series of books called the Inserto series, Fooled by Randomness, and I haven't gotten to the other ones yet, but those are ones I'm trying to listen to. Those are brilliant. Let's see. What Elements of Style I think is pretty banger for grammar. You should read The State and Revolution by V.I. Lenin. Okay, I will. I guess that's 6 Lenin or something. 1984 is great. I think 1984 is good, but the Brave New World or Bold New World is a lot more accurate to what the dystopia we're living in is like. It takes so much time, and at like 18, dating feels like I have weights on. Yeah. Um, Propositional logic. Okay. Um, haven't heard of Society of the Mind. No philosophy books. Ethics of Ambiguity by Simone de Beauvoir. It's hard hitting. Mr. Smart Guy. Luke Smith, he's a bad influence in some ways, but not others. Like, I think Luke Smith is very. I said in that video, I prefer to work with people and understand them rather than manipulate and dismiss them. And he's not totally like that, but projects like Tor and Monero are a little bit like, why do you need privacy if. You need privacy if the government's bad. Like, it's important to have privacy, but it's like. I don't know. If everyone is good and looking out for each other, it's like, why, though? It's just, I get that sometimes they're not. I don't know. On Writing Well by William. Okay, I'll look at that. Every time I paste, there's some annoying escape codes. Okay. My voice is getting hoarse. Go read code, please. I don't know if that's a crazy unpopular opinion. I think that's a reasonable-ish thing to do. My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Okay. I'll read that too. My mom gave me like a bunch of books about rest and relaxation because I think she was concerned that I'm like too workaholism. Monero is important for my online shopping. Okay, bro, what are you buying? Some acid? It's another thing. It's like, what do you want to use Monero for? Like everything that should be bought should maybe be. Um, I don't know. I think there's some good reasons why certain things are illegal, and there are certain drugs that I don't think should be illegal, but I think it would be better to like go through lobbying the government and like rather than like trying to just get around the government like certain psychedelics that aren't like addictive I think are kind of fine, and I think so is ketamine, but there's a reason they're illegal, and it's because they can do a lot of damage if you don't know what you're doing with them. And I honestly kind of think they're a scam personally. I don't think psychedelics. I think like they kind of are a bunch of. You can get a bunch of false knowledge and conclusions about the world by taking psychedelics, but it's like unearned wisdom, and it's important for some people. Like they can really change the lives of some people who have like ego problems by making them see they're part of a bigger picture. But I yeah, I don't know. For the people that are taking them as party drugs, it's like I don't know. It's just kind of bad for you. I am not a big fan of the 40 Laws of Power. No, I am a big fan of Dune though. I think Dune can teach you a lot about what power is. Do LSD fried people I know mentally for life. Yes. Yeah, and I think weed is kind of the same way. There's a lot of science now that's showing it's like just not very. The reason it's so compelling is it makes you feel smarter momentarily because it like shifts your thinking abilities to be more in touch with your subconscious, which is really cool and it feels like you're smart, but it's like it has too many negative consequences, I think. Gotta go, but I'll leave the. Thanks, I appreciate that. Um, Laws of Human Nature by R.B. Greene. Okay, I'll read that too. Oh man, my voice is kind of hoarse. Um, doo-doo-doo. One book that really did something for me was The Art of Being Right by Schopenhauer. Okay. Damn, there's too much to... Stop sending me book recs. I'm sick of copy pasting. Blah, 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 blah. More information to cram down the throat. What you believe books done for you. I want to see what you think. They've given me a lot of understanding about the world. The more that I read, the more I realize that knowledge is power, and I'm really really able to do a lot more than I was before I accepted that. I used to be like I'm the supreme intelligent being, and now I'm like I just absorb information like there's no tomorrow, and I absorb all the wisdom and I talk to the ancients and I sift through information like that, and it makes me just more and more and more capable of everything around me. I'm getting like way richer, I'm getting way more friends, I'm getting girl. It's just that everything is working out by knowing more stuff, you know. It's just like knowledge is the ultimate knowledge is power is like the most true thing you'll ever hear, and it's like you can be like that's kind of a scam. I'm just gonna go through life with my and oh, nootropics and biohacking. Actually, I'm so interested in nootropics, but I haven't had the time to get into it. There's just so many other things I'm interested in. What's cooking, lil bro? Yeah, what's up? Read Art of War. Okay, yeah, I am really yeah, I'm really interested in like Taoism as well, and Buddhism, and wisdom from other parts of the world. I think we're too Western centric, and there's a lot of really cool things that have been discovered elsewhere, and we're missing out on it by being like, oh, meditation and understanding yourself and karma, and that's shit's all bullshit. But I see now karma is fully a real thing, dude. Like helping people out, it does come back to you, and people are like, oh, that's fake. That's just and people I mean me clearly I'm like oh karma's maybe it's kind of real, but it's like literally a scientific thing. There's like a network of people that all talk to each other. It's like a directed graph, and if you shoot kindness into it, it like shatters out kindness like all over the graph, and there's a good chance the kindness comes back to you. So I'm being like as nice as possible to all the people around me and helping them with as many things as possible, and everyone's just like helping me out, and we're like getting so much farther. Hopefully that happens with you guys too. Go start YouTube channels, and I'll give you shout outs, and we'll take over the world together. It's not gonna be just me doing this. Um, Cycles in the graph, yeah. Takes on stoicism. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of stoicism honestly. I wish I had, but there's just too many books for me to learn. You're describing what the Stoics would say about positively influencing your community and logos. Okay, good to know. Um, yeah, they've observed a lot of cool things. Yeah, you're exactly described the Stoic philosophy. Oh, that's I guess that's a good sign because those guys are respected. But I haven't read Stoicism myself. Um, oh yeah, Goodness Network. That's what I thought karma was. I just wanted to hear someone say it like that. Yeah. Did you read? No, I haven't read that. No. There's so much I haven't. Dude, I'm just starting to realize how much I don't know. Like, the more I drink in knowledge, the more I'm like, oh no, there's like so much more of it to drink in. It's absolutely ridiculous how much there is out there. That's why I'm so interested in like learning how to learn, because it's like, I got like 18 new book recommendations and I'm going to read them, but it's going to take a while to absorb that and change my view. Um, you said once you can't seem to focus to read physical books, so you listen to them instead. I'm in the same way, so I'm trying to pick up speed reading. IDK if I'm fooling myself. That's an interesting thing. I've gone to physical books now in addition to audiobooks. It's like I see I was wrong about audiobooks. You just gotta read, and that's that's You just got to make yourself read. It's a skill you gotta know. I mean, audiobooks are good too, but it's like it's way more passive. Thoughts on anime? Do you watch any? Not really, not especially, but I can appreciate it as an art form. Like I watched Attack on Titan. That's the only anime I've seen. I had a little bit of Cowboy Bebop, I think. Yeah, like one or two episodes. And I'm not hugely into shows, but yeah, Attack on Titan, dude, fucking awesome show. So much sick shit in there. They're really an art form and they can teach you a lot of stuff, but I know people that make it too much of their personality as well, so be careful. Um How old are you, bro? Let me compare myself and make some life choices. I'm 14. Um, the band you recommended is so good. What band is that? I haven't gotten into speed reading. Does anyone know how to speed read? Network theory. I've recently started reading some papers on it, and it's so powerful. That's very cool. Hopefully, maybe if I ever need to make a network, I'll hire you one day, man. Uh, prerequisite knowledge of prerequisite knowledge type shit. Uh, how much of your reading is CS books? It's basically no more. I'm done with CS, honestly. I'm in social skills for the foreseeable future. I'm gonna go back to CS if I need to start a company, and probably to make the forum. I know how to use all the web dev technology, so I'll do it for that. But I want to get into like leading and organizing, honestly, a little bit. I just want to like explore that world. I find it hard to motivate myself to learn so much. I want to learn and work so much, but sometimes I can't. I know it's pretty anti-stimulant, maybe. Thoughts on ADHD meds? Man, it's really hard. I'm not sure. ADHD meds can help, but you got to just get into a good routine where it's like you can bear it. And if you're doing stuff you don't like doing, it's a good sign because it's like you're really pushing your boundaries by trying to work when you don't want to work. And even though it's really hard right now, by working without ADHD meds, you in the future will do really well. And one thing I'll say to you, and I've felt like this a long time before, is like life is a long journey. You do not have to, like, you might see someone focusing and working, but dude, it take me years and years and years of playing video games and like smoking weed and not like and like failing at so many things to like get to the point I am now of doing consistent work. And I'm still not very consistent. I'm still like going all over to all these things, and it's like it looks like success is like achieved overnight, but it's like it's a very long and slow road. So I try to keep that in mind too when I'm like, man, I'm not a billionaire yet. Well, I don't know. Rome wasn't built in a day. It'll take a long, long time to get there. The cult is already there. Yeah, it seems like it. I know I gotta work on the skill of beating ADHD downsides so I can get this upsides of being autistically focused. See, dude, you're like I'm so excited, Simon, for that realization you just had because it's like the fact that you're like, I need to do this like kind of meta skill. I need to like mitigate the downsides of ADHD so I can use the hyper focus. It's like, dude, you already understand how ADHD works and you're trying to like angle your own psychology to work for you. You're gonna be completely fine, dude. It might take you like a few months to a few years to figure things all out, but like you thinking like that, dude, you're gonna do great one day. You're already so ahead of the curve by thinking like that. Like I need to control my own thoughts and my own behavior patterns so that they can. I remember when I had that realization. That's honestly like so heartwarming to hear someone else think about that. That's really awesome. And like someone like all wanting to do cool things and like help the world and like realizing things like that, dude, you are going to go far. Yeah. Yeah, I think ADHD is honestly it's W social engineering. Yeah, I just social engineered the shit out of you. Get manipulated, dude. Um, ADHD is really tough for guys because it's like, I don't know. I'm not an education student, but as I understand it, everyone like cramming guys into school, forcing them to sit down and learn things all day. We're programmed to like run around in the wilderness collecting berries and like stabbing boars and having sex all day. We're not it's like very unreasonable to have us sit down in front of laptops and like understand abstract theory. But at least we can kind of like trick ourselves into doing it after a while if you really understand yourself. Yeah, AI is a bubble. Absolutely. Hope Core is accurate and hilarious. Yeah. Uh, Yeah. Yeah, that's dude, that's awesome, Simon. I'm very glad to hear that. You're gonna go far with that attitude. Just like keep improving those things like that, and yeah, yeah. I don't even have to say anything else. Like you're gonna do great. Um, Routine and environment really matters with OCD. I think it's a similar situation. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that can kind of subliminally impact you. Like having a messy desk, there's a bunch of research that actually like affects your. I don't know. I gotta look into nootropics. I gotta write that down. I think nootropics are like the study of like how food and other external stimuli like impacts your brain, and you can kind of like hack your brain into being smarter with certain things. Yeah. Um, yeah, once you become the master manipulator of your own brain, I'll be the narrator in life. Yeah. Yes, I will. I'll keep making ADHD progress things. And I'm also thinking that like what I'm trying to do now is hack my brain and like meta understand how I learn so that I can learn more effectively. Like knowing your own mind is hugely important, and I think we overlook it way too much. And like Buddhism has the right idea of understanding yourself very deeply. I think that's a really, really important skill that we overlook here in the West. I think you have too much of a hustle mindset and that there's no point. I think you're projecting your like depressive tendencies out very very clearly, and I'm not going to hate on you because I think you're probably a very smart guy, cuz smart people have a lot of self-doubt because they're very good at like logically convincing themselves that certain things should be the way they are. But I think you need to understand your personality flaws and understand that maybe you were kind of I don't maybe you were mistreated as a child. I don't fucking know psychology, but there's a reason you're like negative about the hustle mindset. There's a reason you don't think it'll work, and it probably stems from some place where you feel that you can't have that same hustle mindset, but you absolutely can. Get social engineered. um, Google wants to be Apple so bad with the YouTube UI. Yeah, YouTube UI is kind of bad. Uh, Messy disk, more creativity. Clear one, more productivity. That is interesting. I think the big AI firms are not dumb. They know LLMs are BS, but they are paying all the money they are pouring into the fields leads to new innovation that actually leads to AGI. That's a very good way to look at it, and I agree. People are like, people look at like Sam Altman and other billionaires, and they're like, this guy is fucking dumb. He's fucking churning out AI slop, and it's like, okay, well, he's at the head of a huge company. He's really good at social engineering. He's really rich, and you're just like critiquing it from the sidelines. It's like that's like just watching like Michael Jordan dunk and being like, "Well, he didn't have his pinky on the ball during the throw." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the big bubble will burst soon on AI. I am not sure. I'm in it for the love of the. Oh, Sam Altman. I'm also in it for the love of the game. Yeah. Do you think AI bubble? But yeah, sorry guy who is like, I think you have hustle and there's no point. Like, why do you think there's no point? I mean, you could argue there is no point, and but then like, what's the point? Like, there's literally no point in nihilism, because it might be completely true. Like, what is the point of anything? But then like, why not just go into the why not just go shoot up heroin, and like just sit around doing nothing? Like Diogenes tried that, and I don't know. It's just you can do that, but like, why would you if you have the opportunity to not? Do you ever struggle with never being satisfied with your work? And how did you overcome it? I'm struggling with that since like ever. I'm still struggling with that to this day. That's a tough thing. I think the way I overcome it, yeah, I still struggle with it a lot. But one way to look at it is like life is it's a marathon. It's not like you have to finish and be the master right now. It's like just take every day as it comes, and some days will be productive and some won't, but it's like a long long slow march. You can't look at it like you should have achieved your all your dreams in one day. You'll wake up one day if you keep working very hard, and you will, His dreams will be achieved. Why do I feel like such like a motivational speaker today? Like I'm not even that achieved of a guy. Dude, I have like $8,000 in my bank account and like no job. I'm not in school right now, but I think there's more than one way to be rich. I feel very rich. Oh, good night, Buzz Baldrin. Absurdism is kind of based on. Yeah, nihilism is pretty bad if you've ever seen The Big Lebowski. No eyelash routine, I just have good eyelash genetics. Uh, did a presentation on my job market in one of my classes, pretty much word for word your ideas in person networking versus LinkedIn AI resume grinding. That's very heartwarming to hear that my ideas are spreading around the globe. But keep roasting me, keep like questioning what I say because I don't want to get into like a power hungry everything I say is correct mindset. I want to get up to the top, but I want to do it in like a wholesome way where like people don't get exploited and hurt. Uh, more like money chasing always need to be busy thing. People can't sit still no more. Yeah. Existentialism might be the most logical scientific reality, but don't you want to be happy and conquer, brother? Yeah, exactly. That's I had this whole like existential moment too where I was like, what does it all matter? But like I don't know. Just do what you enjoy day to day. Like, you could sit around arguing what does it matter all day and like be like kind of a little bit depressed about the state of things for your whole life, or you could like really try to enjoy life and go out and do things. I think that's the better way to do it. Want to do it in a wholesome way? Yeah. Dude, I do love fucking roasting the shit out of people who are noobs. It is kind of funny. But I don't know. You could argue that was good for that person's development, maybe. I don't think so. I think overall more good came out of that video than bad, but that was kind of a bad thing to do. But I think like it helped a lot of people realize that vibe coding is like easily detectable by people who can actually code. So, um, I do have something to grind as well. You're pretty similar, I think, from watching you, but you are what society would say an upgraded version of me. But don't really worry about what society thinks because, well, I don't know. It's a tough thing. I've known some really, really smart people who are like kind of in like, who like, you could say work dead end jobs or like they work in fast food or whatever, and it's like it's sad because they're intellectual titans all around us whose society is like a little bit failed, and it's like I could be really smart and that would be great for me, but I've realized that in order to be like respected by society I have to go out and achieve things, and it is like hustle culture, but it's like just how it works. um about hustle culture, what will you do if you achieve the knowledge you wanted? Yeah, you could just find a different thing, but don't think it's. But you think this sort of gets boring to the point of absolute monotony. Um, you're saying like what'll I do if I achieve? I think if I'm understanding your question, it's like why do anything? Because eventually you'll get suck. You'll get like you'll get sick of achieving, and it's like there's no point, but then it's like why do anything? Okay, well, I'll just sit there and like go to go to my grocery store every day and buy just enough food to keep me alive and work a minimum wage dead end job. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter in the end, but like I could make another roasting portfolio. um BTW, why are the people running your psyop releasing you so early? You need a little more in the oven before you can do the cult thing, right? The Silicon Valley psyop people. I don't. I think they fail to consider that maybe I can think for myself a little too much. I low-key vibe coded 100% of my front end because I ain't no designer. Yeah, you're casting that vote that you don't want to design anything. I mean, that's fine, but it's not that hard to become a designer. Like I think you'll find it quite a lot easier to be a designer than you think it is. It's not that much work. Um, I just found your channel, so I have a question. What exactly are your videos about? Are you a game dev or a programmer? That's why you have gotten recommended to me. Dude, why do you have to like there are categories you must fit into in order for me to understand. I just found your channel. You must categorize yourself. Make me understandable to you. Bro spammed it 3 times too. Like, dude, what are you an LLM trying to understand the world? Please put yourself in a category so that I can understand you. I think the deep state is like sending bots to like try to understand what this channel is, and it's like too human for them to get it. What the fuck? The only reason I know it's like yeah. Sorry. Yeah, dude. It's fine, dude. It's like, but I don't know, dude. I do what I do. It's hard to categorize. Yeah, I used to think that, but yeah, exactly. The thing is, if you're like, oh, I hate doing this, I'm gonna vibe code it. You may miss out on the field you love most. Simon has a good point. Um, hey, what's up, Reens? It is it's my office, my father's office, technically. Please identify your label so I can predict who you are. um, oh yeah, an autistic cult hyper productivity leader and also Vim. Yeah, that's me. Bro just talks about stuff. That's what he does. Yeah, pretty much. What stack am I using right now mostly? Dude, if I tell you my stack, you're just gonna go around looking for the next better stack. You have to pick your stack yourself and like believe in your stack. And I wouldn't worry about stack so much. I'm not even gonna gratify that. Okay, I will tell you. Just because people fucking respect me or something, it's the stack for web dev. It depends on what everything you do, but I really like Svelte because I respect Rich Harris a lot. I think he's a really smart guy. I think Svelte is just really well written. It's got great docs. It's got really good. Yeah, it's a well thought out thing, and yeah, that's why I use Svelte, and I use TypeScript on the back end too because it's highly compatible and it's a pretty mature language. But also, don't get caught up in stacks. Don't talk merits of a stack all day. It's the biggest waste of time ever. What you should do is pick a stack and then build the thing. Yes, Astro is sure, that's also fine too. Don't go around like listening to all the merits of every different stack because everyone is going to start like giving you all their dogma about why their stack is the best, and they're just defending the choice they made back in the day, and it's like it really doesn't matter. Just pick a stack. And you can see it's a mark of a noob to be like, I hate TypeScript, I hate use that, use this frameworks. Yeah, but TypeScript, like just pick a language and use it. I really don't care. No, I majored in math and then I dropped out. My father is a professor of classics like ancient Greek and Latin and philosophy. And he's actually specializes in ancient music. There's a liar over there. Was wondering why you popped in my FYP. How am I supposed to answer that? Like the algorithm? Dude, that doesn't mean anything. I don't get that. Oh man, I have this really tight belt on. Maybe I should turn this into a stripping stream. No, my mom's an archaeological illustrator. She like digs up well, other people dig up pots and then she draws them. Um Wait, ancient Egypt. I majored in Egyptology before I switched to CS. Egyptology is awesome. You know, one time on Fireship, he was like, people who major in Egyptology are just like becoming teachers of Egyptology so they can teach other people Egyptology, and it's all a big pyramid scheme, which is like the most inane thing to say because it's like, well, isn't CS just people teaching other people CS so they can make more CS slop? It's just like another pyramid scheme with a bigger loop. Like all knowledge is pyramid schemes. Just study what you're interested in. I don't know. I got into coding with Swift and been obsessed with iOS dev. Haven't ever touched anything else besides Xcode and Swift. Okay, good for you. Yeah, sure. We need iOS devs. Not a bad thing at all. Yeah, ancient Greek is really important to study, and so is Latin, I think. It's really sad. Those are getting left behind because people are all career grinding so hard, but there's so much to learn from the classics. Like, the people of those eras discovered actually quite a lot of stuff that it's getting left behind in favor of AI slop and modern nonsense. So I'm a big fan of the classics. And classics as a major, a lot of people don't know what it is anymore, which is pathetic, but it's like, well, sorry to put you down if you don't know what it is, but it's study of ancient Greek and Latin and their culture and like the ancient Greek and Latin epics. You learn so much. It's like about how to live, how to be a good person, government, ethics, language, syntax and grammar. Like it's like an all around Chad major. Like yeah. Did I get the joke though? Yeah, pyramid scheme. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Your parents seem smart AF. I feel like it's reflected onto you in some way. My parents are pretty smart, and I attribute that to most of my intelligence. I think it's totally nurture more. Well, I'm a big nurture believer. Like yes, because my parents are smart, I strive for knowledge. But I've learned a lot that my parents don't know, but they also know a lot that I don't know. Like my mom is like a she reads all the time. She like basically exercises and works. And she's like a yeah, she's a big learner, and so is my dad. So I do attribute that to them. Um, Honestly, I was interested in Egyptology for a while, but over time I started to think the job market more, and the job opportunities around here are so limited. Dude, what I want to see is all those fields like Egyptology and classics to come back. The reason we don't have jobs for them is everyone is rushing to Silicon Valley to make their six-figure tech job doing meaningless slop. And that's going to flip soon enough because so many people are going into CS and they're so bad at it because it's not what they're actually interested in that eventually we're gonna see a flip where like the one or two classics majors that do classics and are actually interested in it get cracked and they're so smart they start like understanding how society functions and they're able to like social engineer and get into leadership positions and they're just gonna be like it's gonna be people that actually study what they're interested in that are like ruling society and I think we're gonna see a flip back to like liberal arts and classics being like big fields again. Like they're kind of withered down to almost nothing because everyone is trying to get a meaningless tech job. That's what I hope to see. You were just learning ancient wisdom and whatever in CS you can produce something new at least. Dude, that's a mark of someone who doesn't understand things very well. You'd think you can produce something new, but the guys who wrote C and Unix are like 10 times smarter than you. You're just producing like you're reinventing the wheel but shittier over and over again and oh, we're pushing consumer value. Sadly, no. I mean, you're making a living, but you're not really advancing humanity. Um, what's your take on blockchain? That's I used to be very pro blockchain, but now I'm like, I don't know. It's cool, but it's like, why do we need to decentralize our currency? I think the government should control currency, or maybe like a super intelligent AI should control currency. I don't know. That gets a little Terminatory. We're headed that way, but I'm worried about outsourcing our thinking to machines. Yeah, one of my friends has been rising up the ranks fast in ecology because of that exact reason. People flooded out of it, and there are an insane demand for borderline qualified people. Yes, exactly. So I think the other fields are actually, if you want a job, it's liberal arts now that's better. Go get a liberal arts degree if you're one of the career grinders who wants a job. I think yeah. I agree. Blockchain is conceptually great, but doesn't work. It's like, it's a great idea, but don't like let yourself be enamored by the technology without thinking about its implications. Like, I don't know, it's like, oh dude, an assault rifle is such a piece of engineering. Like you can shoot that many bullets that quickly with that much accuracy at that much range. That's such a beautiful machine. Okay, but you're just killing people with it. I mean, yeah, it's a really beautiful piece of engineering. And same with all these kids that are like, I need to go work for Lockheed Martin in defense. It's like, you want to build like a killing machine? And everyone's like, oh, Lockheed Martin, where six-figure salary makes up for your morals. Ha ha ha, what a funny joke. And they like just sweep under the rug completely the fact that they're literally building killing machines and they're working for a killing company. But I don't know. It's maybe important to have inventions to kill each other just because there are some dumb people, but it's maybe too hippie to think we can all get along and all social engineer each other into being happy and collaborating on things. I don't know. Told my to major in liberal arts. Nice, but he's going for comms engineering. Yeah, it's hard to convince people. They have to come to the ideas themselves, which is why I'm socially engineering you all so effectively because you think you're here by your own free will, but you've I feel offended as an aerospace major. If you're going for aerospace to like get us into space, that's all well and good. But if you're trying to design like an F-16, like, why? You just want to make killing people really efficient? Hi, Sylvan. I use Vim and I don't have even a basic grasp of grammar because I'm not capitalizing my eyes, which is what you should do. Um, and I don't feel like using NVim. Can I keep using Vim? Also, what size butt plug should I start with? Dude, you're trolling me with this grammar thing. I'm not even answering that question. Um, uh, exact reason I'm not going into defense. It's funny they call it defense, but it's like, I don't know. If everyone lowered their guns, then maybe we would do better. Free will doesn't exist, yeah, basically. Your nose is huge. I'm sorry you're insecure about your own facial appearance. Oh, that got deleted. I'm in fact dude, I really don't care like what I look like. Like I don't have to be perfect looking. I think America has a problem with like the because of like the random people that are statistically super attractive because they have all these different traits are like pushed to everyone on all these screens, and then people have really fucked up body image problems. And it's like my friend pointed this out to me the other day. If we were in like colonial times, I would be insanely attractive for because like no one would know what the most attractive people in the world look like, and I'm like healthy and young. So and I really don't care. Like I've come to terms with all of that kind of stuff a long time ago. Yeah. And a lot of people say that I'm good looking, so I'm not even that offended. um, um, okay, don't glaze my my appearance too much. Yeah, um, that's an interesting thing. Like people people comparing me to Timothy Chalamet is like I don't even think I feel like I don't really know anyone who's not super attractive unless they're like very unhealthy. Like I find that attractive. Like people that are very or unattractive, people that are very overweight or have like a lot of skin problems because they eat horribly. I'm like, well, I don't really want to deal with all of those bad habits you have. But like most people, I just find kind of equally attractive, except for yeah, I don't know. Like um, all right, I'll see you. I gotta go now. Yeah, I don't speak French. I wish I spoke French. I think people in liberal arts are generally much hotter than in CS. That's a great reason to take liberal arts, honestly. I might go back for liberal arts and just like socially engineer people all over campus and cause shenanigans. I think that would be funny. I actually have a meeting with a guy at some point to talk about social engineering. Social engineered my one programmer friend who has friends who are social engineers to get the advice from the social engineers on how to be a better social engineer. It's networking AF. Um, Unless you were born in severely dysgenic, anyone can be moderately attractive with good health and hygiene. I totally agree. Like, I don't know. I have like certain good genetic features and certain bad ones, and it's like certain bad ones, but it's like I'm people think I'm attractive just because I have like a good diet and I exercise a lot, so my skin is really clear, and then I have like a above average jawline, below average like nose structure, and like I don't want to get too into analyzing all the science of it because it's like if you want to be attractive, it's pretty easy. Just eat really healthy and exercise, and you will start looking a lot better. Um, would you recommend me start a YouTube channel? I want everyone to start a YouTube channel. Yeah, document what you learn. Um, I feel like my ideas aren't that valuable in themselves, but I have a desire to express the art of thinking. Time to yap to a camera? I think so. Dude, you know Feynman's technique? The best way to learn is to teach. And when you start teaching, you'll realize how many gaps you have in your knowledge. It's one of the most effective things you can do for learning yourself. So even if like not a lot of people start watching it off the bat, it's completely fine because it's about you learning. Oh, is he Jewish? No, I'm not Jewish as far as I know. Hello, Sylvan. I'm currently make use of Vim, and quite frankly, I have no desire whatsoever to adopt new Vim. Is it permissible for me to remain loyal to Vim? Also, okay, first of all, you're clearly using like a thesaurus to use words that are slightly too fancy. Like, don't go too over the top because it's quite obvious when people are trying to fluff up their writing feathers. Like, you can use pretty common words and still be expressive. Um, Dude, I don't know. Trust your gut. Just if Vim is what you're enjoying, you don't have to optimize everything. Social engineering, I would say we don't have a good word for it in English because it sounds really manipulative, but the way I'm doing it is like I'm helping other people equally as much as I'm helping myself. So it's more like collaboration, but it's like you don't really have a choice, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like manipulation, but like I can make people I've found I can actually I'm extremely persuasive now because I have a lot of vision and I'm very confident and my body language is showing that and my life is very interesting to a lot of people now. So that's social engineering is just saying please. That's one part of it. Is it bad OPSEC to make a YouTube channel with opinions with your face attached to it? Why do you care about OPSEC? Like, is the mob like stalking you or something? I don't get why people care so much about OPSEC. Like, I don't know. I guess it's important, but it's like just don't do anything that like really makes people hate you. Like, I don't want to say this because it'll put it in people's heads, but like if you wanted to dox me, you could. You could like assemble all this stuff, and there are people that have that skills. But like, why would you, other than to just be like a total dick? Like, it would just like really negatively impact me and not really get you anything. So just like, I don't know, just try to be nice to everyone and like don't worry about. Yeah, I don't know. Yo, Sylvain, what is the word on the streets? Should a homeboy stick to Vim, switch to new Vim? Okay, that is quite funny. I don't switch to Helix. Switch to Cocoon. If that's a problem with your OPSEC, compartmentalize better. In Italy, yes, the mob. Are they gonna kill you for saying certain things? Some of us are being gang stalked. Okay, if you're being gang stalked, I can't really help you. Sorry. Da da da. Bro has a WebSocket connection to Google servers RN and talking about bad OPSEC. Yeah, I have horrible OPSEC, dude. I have horrible OPSEC. I'm using all proprietary garbage, but I don't have people to hide from. I don't really have enemies that I know of yet. If you're out there and you're my enemy, you'll be killed. How tall are you? I'm 5'6". I'm a little guy. And dude, little guys, the problem in today's society with little guys is like tall guys. Oh, thanks for the $1. It's ya boy, Chips Ahoy. Classic internet reference. Uh, also, new video with The Voice coming out soon. Um, What was I even saying? Yeah, I'm 5'6". But dude, people are like, "Oh, you got to be tall to attract girls." Not at all true. That's such cope. You need emotional intelligence if you want to attract girls. And also, people are like, "Oh, but you got to be tall to do the." Being tall is pure disadvantage in the modern era. Like this might be LGC, little guy cope, but I can run under small spaces if I'm being chased. Good luck getting me out of like a burrow. I like can survive the winter with a lot less food than you can. It's like way more economical to be a little guy. I can get way higher on drugs if I'm trying to do that because I'm a little guy. My metabolism is really fast. I don't have to like waste like sometimes if you're buying like bespoke clothing, it'll cost more money if you have longer limbs. Like I'm just like it's way more efficient for me to do all this stuff. The blood flow to all of my limbs is way more efficient. Being a little guy is so the meta, and people are like, "Oh, but there's certain girls you'll never be able to attract." It's like, I don't know. That's not all there is to happiness, and like I can find a girl who I really like, and I actually have, but cope detected. Okay, bro. Shut it down. Um, my friend told me about your channel after my recent crisis from going from half recreational stimulants too often and similar interests. Wondering what your take is on stuff like Adderall. I said it earlier, I'm going to make a whole video on it. It's basically, you can skim back and find that, but I think Adderall is not super necessary for me anymore. I'm going to make a whole video on ADHD again. Um, if startups are a better career choice for folks like us who genuinely want to build things, how do we find startups that share our principles? I mean, watch the video I made today. It's like just applying. Emotional intelligence wouldn't help if you were ugly. That is absolute cope. That's not true at all. That is completely untrue. You have no idea how untrue that is. Um, Emotional intelligence absolutely will help. Girls really don't care so much about your physical attributes. Like that'll get you in the door, but it's the emotional intelligence that'll really get you going in and out of the door repeatedly. Um, I knew you were a little guy just looking at your face. IDK but taller, so what is the worst their face gets? Now that's cope. But dude, yeah, being a little guy is awesome. Like I do try to have big guy friends because sometimes like I'm walking along and if it's like a really windy day, I almost get swept away and so sometimes you need like you know how the Romans like held hands with each other and it like wasn't considered gay. Sometimes you need like a big guy walking next to you. You can use as ballast or else you're gonna get blown away. Is that Cloudy Gamer CG like a someone who's like famous? Why is that like a verified check there? I don't know who you are. Your fame carries no power here, and I'm not that impressed by you, to be honest, man. Just kidding. Happy to have you. Um, are you aware of the Adderall to meth pipeline? I am now, I guess. I mean, yeah, if you keep taking more. I'm 5'11", yet fucking sad. So, yeah, see, height gets you absolutely nothing. And, like, it's worse when people are like, oh, girls want tall guys, and then you're a tall guy and you can't get girls. And then you're like, oh, man, maybe I'm deficient. And it's because you lack emotional intelligence, not because of how tall you are. If you want girls, it's like confidence and emotional intelligence and just listening to them. That's what works, but and it's not really height at all. Also, like you guys like keep running into things. Oh, did Simon just donate? Oh, thank you. I never donate to people, but I get so much value from the stream that $5 is the least I could give. Good luck. Look forward to your next vid. Peace. Thank you, Simon. I really appreciate that. I I have no income stream currently, so you're helping me pay for groceries. I'm just I live off credit card benefits and ad revenue. No, no cope. I'm 6'2" and chopped. Yeah, I used to be like all cope about height, but it really doesn't matter. Um, I felt like that for a long time too. Like being short was problems in my confidence, but that's really like a bad way to look at it. That's like, oh, I'm not rich. I can't. I don't know. It's like it's something you can't control, but what you can control is emotional intelligence. How windy are your areas? You need a big man to anchor you, dude. My friend Charlie is 5'11". He's the philosophy guy. Big guy, little guy combos are elite because if you have a big guy friend, they can reach like cookies on high shelves for you. And if you're a little guy, you can like scamper under like tables and chairs and stuff and like pick up things the big guys dropped. Like it's such a symbiotic relationship to for big guys and little guys to hang out together. Like too few people are like, no, only big guys, or no, only little guys. But when you get big guys and little guys kind of interoping, it's like it is really powerful. Small startup job, I quit to pursue my own social engineering and stuff and antics. Uh, height sucks. I don't think height sucks either. Height is like very powerful because you know how iron golems like hit people up in the air in Minecraft? Like you can do a lot of damage if you're tall, but it's not always the best thing. Um, Holy bromance. Yeah, whatever, bro. You're coping. What kind of cartoon character ass life do you live where you're reading for cookies and need a tall sidekick? Dude, how are you not living that life? That's the best life to live. We have a cookie jar at my apartment, and I can never get it because Jake puts it out of reach for me because he knows like I'd eat too many cookies otherwise. And that's why Charlie is like always, I have to always be inviting Charlie over. And that's what social engineering is so powerful for. Like, he thinks I like his philosophy talk, but I just really am asking him tons of questions and pretending to be interested so I can get him to reach the cookies for me. Don't ever show him this stream, please. But it's kind of fine because I think like he is socially engineering me by listening to the things I say just so I can like scamper under like his chair and pick stuff up for him because he got to bend down so far. Um, let's see. Soy boy LGC short max versus Chad philosophy. HTN. What's HTN? You should start a club where people actually want to learn computer science for the love of it, come together and just learn and build projects and encourage each other. Yeah, that's what the online thing is going to be. The problem is I'm realizing I'm learning so much, I'm talking to so many people that at a certain point like I have to hands off and like stop telling people what to do and let them discover things on their own. I don't know if I have time to manage a club, but what I can do is talk to the leader of an existing CS club and give them some advice on like certain things and see if I can give them some extra resources and power. Stop calling it social engineering. No, social engineering is awesome, dude. Social engineering needs to be reworked because that's what it is. It's engineering. It's like there's a science to it and you're manipulating the science. It's like dude, I'm getting all I can't sit still for this long. This isn't LinkedIn, bro. Making friends isn't social engineering. Okay, well you think it isn't, but I listened to my tall friend. Here's how it helped with B2B SaaS. I don't really like. I don't. The problem with tall people is like the atmospheric pressure up there messes with their brains a little bit, and like they have like big ideas about the world, but little guys are more grounded because the atmosphere, the oxygen is like richer down here, so we have more based takes. Honestly, I think I don't know. But on the other hand, like we're like a lot more vulnerable to like seismic tremors and stuff and like sometimes you can get hit by pretty big molecules that are floating around. If you're too little like I am, like I gotta be fending off like helium and hydrogen in the atmosphere all the time and hitting that stuff away, which takes up a lot of my time. um, yeah. Yeah, it's really annoying. Shorter people live longer, but that's just because we're better at hiding. Like it's not because of like a health thing. It's like just statistically like you big guys have it really hard because you can't hide from danger whereas like we can burrow into the ground and it's like a defense mechanism like we've developed. We keep it hidden from you because if you big guys had burrowing technology, it would our evolutionary advantage would be gone and you'd really get all the girls. But I really shouldn't be saying that. The Council of Little Guys would be furious at me for revealing our burrowing technology. Yeah, I'm too tall for the fucking bed. Yeah, it's just a disadvantage. How do you feel to walk past a girl that's taller than you? I don't know. Like, I know girls that are a lot taller than me that are still attracted to me because I'm so emotionally available. And it's sometimes it's like, oh man, that girl has all these preconceived notions about what she needs out of a guy. And it's like maybe she'll never be able to get over the fact that I'm shorter than her, and it's just not worth it for me to persuade her that it is worth it. Like I could just I couldn't universally do this. It's just that not all girls will be attracted to you, you know, but a lot of them will if you play your cards right. And sometimes I see a girl who's taller than me, and it's like, I don't know. If she were like really, really competent at something, and like I really wanted to date her for some reason to like get some skill out of her, yeah, that would suck. But I don't know. Dude, I disagree. Being 6 foot is not the perfect balance. Because, like, when we're talking winds, if you get, like, if you catch too much wind, if you're 6 foot, like, when a gust of wind is blowing, you'll, like, sway way over to the side. Not perfect balance. Perfect balance is, like, 5'6", because you can hold on to, like, the ground and, like, the wind goes over you, and you can burrow into the ground a little bit, dig your paws in, and, nah, I think that's a misconception. I'm fine with taller girls, honestly. Why on earth do people do JS? Why on earth do people not spell check or know basic grammar? Sorry, not to roast you. The Council of Tall Guys is trying to tell me something, but I can't really understand what they're saying because the air is so thin up there. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's like. And the Council of Lil Guys is like we try to we don't keep things very secret from the Council of Big Guys because you can't really hear like how high frequency our voices are. Like when we're talking to each other and Lil Guy, it's like it's it's so like the tones are so high frequency that you need like a seismograph or something to pick that up. That must have been the spell checker. Okay, bro. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why people learn JS. Maybe because they want a job and to support their family, and they're just good people. Or maybe they're fucking evil, manipulative pieces of shit. Or some kind of auto enter. Is auto enter? um, Tall guys can squat, but little guys can't engorge. Yeah, but okay, squatting is like false shortness, you know? Like, yes, but when it comes to like running through all the secret tunnels that we little guys have constructed to travel more quickly, you could get into our secret tunnels, but like you would be miserable, you know? And like you think your big guy pathways are fast, but the little guy tunnels, dude, we are so efficient with those things. When you're little, you can like there's so many little like doors and stuff that you don't even know about that we have access to. Like you're not conditioned to see them, but like if you're a little guy, like the Council of Little Guys will show you all the shortcuts. Yeah, there's tons of tunnels everywhere. Yeah. Um, yeah. Dude, I'm not Jewish. Why do you keep saying that? Small guys use C, big guys use chunky JS. Yeah, yeah. That's another thing with little guys is we're more able to like understand abstraction because you guys are looking at big abstract concepts and like the way the world works, and we're seeing like the atoms and particles that make everything up. So we're more willing to accept that there's like a. What do you mean I'm too smart to be white? What the fuck does that mean? Americans would make little guy tunnel networks instead of public transport. Damn, bro, you don't gotta roast our train networks. Yeah, we keep the little guy like big guys are like it's a very American thing to be like, oh, you gotta be big Tucker, you gotta be a big football player and attract a hot wife. And the little guys are more European. We're like, we don't need to attract the hottest wife. We need a wife who's like thinks about the world and we're okay with our little guy tunnels. Yeah, I do. I get that I look Jewish. I am not Jewish. I am not Asian either. I'm like Irish and English, I think. I don't know. Anglo. Dude, it's big. That's all there needs to be said on it. This shit is pure copium. If there was a button that made you taller at no cost, you would click it. No, dude, I would not become comedically tall. Being comedically tall is a curse. I don't know. Um Tall guys, liberal arts, small guys, CS. Yeah, there's a lot of science that goes into what being tall kind of does for you. There is a lot of genetic advantage to persuasion, but it's not something to beat yourself up over. You're looking at top chat or live chat? I'm looking at live chat.